Hi, Rob. How are you doing? Better. Yeah, I forgot to switch the sound on. Antonio, hello. Have a great show. Can't be around. We'll have a listen to the pod. No worries. Thank you, Antonio. Yeah. You know. Uh. Very well, thank you. Enjoyed your Fortnite video. Thank you, Rob. It didn't really do very well, that video. But hey. Doesn't matter. I enjoyed making it. You know. There it is. The show's going to be a little bit late tonight. Because Duke's late. Tricky chord. It's a tricky chord. And so on. You get the drift. Yeah, we're going to be a little bit late. Duke's running late. I'm not sure. I think it's husband duties. Oh, you might have caught a bit of my belly. Oh, I might get banned from Twitch if I show my nipple. It's not that kind of stream, okay? Just ain't. It ain't like that. I'm not prepared to do that for the followers. You know what I mean? How are we? Is anybody in? Chat to me. I'm bored. I'm on my own. Hello? Alright, we'll change it to standard tuning. I do take requests. I always worry when I'm tightening up strings. They're gonna snap on me one day. This is the one I worry about. Hi, Darren. That's that one always snaps. What shall I play? Yeah, so as I say, Stu's on time, but we're just waiting for Duke, so I'm just fucking around, keeping you lot warm, basically. I used to busk years ago. Really? That's so interesting. I was asked if I took requests. When I said yes, I was told to bugger. That's not true. Did you really used to busk, Paul? That's so cool. Hi, Rob, Paul, Rob, Darren. That's so funny if that's true. I always find F7 tricky. I don't know why. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about games of the noughties tonight. I do take requests if you want to request. Can't guarantee I'll know the song though. Yeah, we're talking about top 5 games of the noughties. I've got them written down. It's quite a tricky list to go through, to be fair. It was tricky. There's a lot of games that came out in the noughties. And I suppose I shouldn't have included 2010 in the tweet, because technically that's the 20 teens. To play it. Okay. David Brent. All right. Well, Let me do David Brent. David Brent is a good songwriter. The songs Gypsy Lady is a great song. Free bird out the free worm way. Gypsy Lady. It's a good song. It's a good song. David Brent, here we go. I'm gonna start this one actually. It's that good. Okay. I remember it. When I known only 18 in the summer, I headed west through the Whitley Woods to make my fortune and find a lover and to lead the best life a young man could. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la. And by the lakeside just south of Didcot. I spied an angel just standing there. She was a traveller, but she was pretty and clean. She was in the water washing her hair. I lost my heart to a gypsy lady so long ago I forgot her name. I still remember the smell of her flowers and the way that life would never be the same. Scroll. She laid me down on a bed of heather. She said, please be careful, this is what I sell. I said, you're a hooker. She said, no, I mean the heather. I sell the heather. It's like a lucky spell. I said, huh, but to be clear, the sex is free. She said, yes, sex is free. The heather's £1. I said, I don't want no heather. And if I did, I would pick some. It's free, it's growing from the ground. I lost my heart to a gypsy lady so long ago I forgot her name. I still remember the smell of the flowers and the way life would never be the same. I can't do that bit. You need to imagine me sitting on a big log. It looks like my penis. I lost my heart to a gypsy lady so long ago I forgot her name. I still remember the smell of the flowers and the way my life would never be the same. When I had known only 18 summers, and then I'm done. Then you donate loads of money. Throw your change in the guitar case, motherfuckers. I learnt the I learnt the Red Dead Redemption. So there's spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2, but you build a house. You build a house, and there's a song that plays when you build the house. And it's cool. It goes like this. Well, let me have a rule and a saw and a board and I cut it. I climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail, I'll nail it. Well, we work so hard to build a little house together. In the snow or the rain or the ice cold wind, whenever. No matter what the weather, we're together. Thank you, Inkman. At least somebody appreciates it. Raw talent. Let me have a rule and a board, son, I cut it. Climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail and I'm nail it. Well, we work so hard to build a little house together. In the snow or the rain or the ice cold wind, whenever. No matter what the weather, we're together. And then he just whistles. When is the album? I don't know. It's one song that's always been tricky. I've never quite nailed it. Is the is it Gerudo's Valley or something in Zelda? I can't remember it. Oh. It's just that bit. You know, that's it. Ugh. Then after that, I'm fine. I forgot it. Still no requests. No one's requesting. It starts really weird. That song now. Themes to Halo. I don't. You know what? Tomb Raider. What is the theme to Tomb Raider? I don't know what the theme to Tomb Raider is. What's the theme to Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider theme. Tomb Raider theme. Screw the podcast. I'm having more fun doing this. Tomb Raider theme. All right. Okay. Right, let's just try that. It's not very exciting. Tomb Raider theme. No. No. Come on. No, I can't find one. Duke is here. I was enjoying myself. Fuck the show. I have to spoil it. I'm gonna spoil it in there. Just enjoying myself. Where's the thing? The other thing I learnt was from Life is Strange. So. They've spoiled it.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
How's that?
Duke's here.
Duke is here.
Duke is
And
here.
Ali sooner than said.
Yeah, I know. We got here like minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah. This is the end of episode 1 on Life is Strange, Duke.
Alright, yeah. Go. Alright, let's see.
This song plays.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. I'm not very good at it.
That's really good. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were just playing it. Like, not playing it, playing it.
Oh
It
my
was
god,
that good.
Stuart.
It was,
That's
it was
like a
good.
compliment.
I did.
You gave me a compliment.
Excellent. Text me back. Do you know what, though?
Yeah. And so
Love
on
it
and
or
so
hate
forth.
it,
Yeah.
it has good music.
It does have pretty good music, I have to say. I can't argue with you.
Are we ready to start?
I think so.
I was playing Crosses by Jose Gonzalez before. So,
There you go.
you know.
You can hear the sound, right?
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Jimmy, other fellas will tell you about
Can you
it.
hear the
It's a
theme
game
song?
that we play.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure. There wasn't
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for
Welcome,
spoiling the
I
theme
spoil
song.
the theme song every
Here
week.
comes Duke with the soundbite savior.
You require a 3-bedroom bisexual house share in Walthamstow. Is that correct?
It's the veteran gamers.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Oh my
Switch that
glob.
console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Baking pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake.
Hello and welcome to episode 473 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 473, and you're gonna be going wee. I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
Music man is today.
Very nice.
Hello.
Yeah, it was lovely. Lovely,
Yeah.
man, lovely.
Not military
Yeah.
veterans, people. We are veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
No, we haven't seen combat at all, unless it's on
Well,
the gaming
combat.
battlefield.
But it doesn't stop it happening.
I see Mortal Kombat.
It's true. This
true.
this week, we had some guy on Facebook, didn't we, who was contacting us and went, "Oh, wrong ones. Thought it was military veterans. Wrong person." Bye.
Yeah, bye. I mean, he can
Yeah, it
stick
doesn't
around
matter.
if he
We're
wants.
good
You know,
people.
I'm not.
We're
I'm,
fun.
It doesn't matter.
We can talk like military veterans.
I've seen Saving
count?
Private Ryan.
Do a lip.
If that
I was playing
Does that count?
video games with some
what?
folks who were in the service, and they kept talking about doing a lip. Apparently, a lot of them will chew tobacco, and they'll talk about putting in a lip, chewing tobacco in their lip.
Okay. I don't even have the right. I am such an amateur tonight,
Oh.
ladies and gentlemen. I don't even have the right scene collection loaded on OBS. What a fucking amateur. I'm going to have to do that. Stream is still going.
Yeah,
Right.
there's something weird with the stream, or is that just on my end? There's just like a blank screen with a white line through the middle of it.
That's you.
Well, I've
That's
I've
totally-
refreshed it 6 times and nothing's changed.
We'll refresh it again.
I've done it
looking-
again,
she
and it's
has
still the
the-
same.
Whatever. Okay. But we stream live on
I want to get this sorted. Stu, are you able to hear the stream?
I don't know. I haven't turned the sound on because that goes
You
all
look at the
wacky.
Veteran Gamers website. Are you looking at youtube.com/?
No, I'm on the Twitch channel, and there's a big white line, and there's nothing.
you
It says live,
Something.
and people are chatting,
Yeah.
but there's
It's
no
fine.
actual stream.
Somebody would have said in the chat by now, this is boring. This is boring content.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Straight to your face. What you're saying right now is very boring.
I've got we stream live every Sunday and all that shit, and I stream live every Thursday. We've got some stuff. I want some announcements. I got to talk about stuff.
Oh yeah, I got a theme song for that.
Hit it!
Saw a pretty girl just the other day. She winked and she smiled, walked across my way. I couldn't figure out just what to say, so I
Announced it.
Twittered it.
Brilliant, inclusive content. That's what I like. Well, firstly, I released a video on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was me playing a game. On
Not just any game.
not just any game, the game.
Yeah.
The game that everybody plays, that we're all playing, right?
Yeah.
Not
I've
all of
seen
us.
it.
I feel like
Some
I sold my soul a little bit. I feel like I've cheapened out.
I guess the game that Ginny's played
And played a lot this week.
Do you know what though, Chidi? Do you know what though? I've watched you play some of this game,
Yeah.
and I've never seen it. I've never looked at this game at all. We've not even said what game it is yet, but I've never looked at
Don't
it.
say it until it's time to talk about what we've been playing.
But it looked a lot of fun. I've got to say, watching you play, it looked like a
this
lot
game
of
everyone's
fun.
playing is actually fun.
Yeah.
Or if
I
there's
know.
a reason why everyone's playing it.
It was Fortnite for the people that don't know.
Spoiled the
It
surprise.
was Fortnite. So, I've uploaded that onto YouTube. Meanwhile, I've cleaned up our YouTube channel a little bit, right? So
What was wrong with it?
it was full of fucking shit, right?
Well, let's I've not had a
Are you
look. Let's have a
referring
look.
to the time I went on and explained Dota 3 hours?
No,
How dare you, sir.
so basically what I've done is every time I stream live, right, I would publish it. Okay?
Yes. As you should.
So then I looked at our YouTube content. If somebody went on there and then saw like 3-hour videos, 2-hour videos, 4-hour videos, they're like, I ain't gonna watch any of this.
This is a lot of good content here.
This is a lot of shit, right? So what I've done instead, and I'm still whittling through, so there might be a few things in there But basically, I have just scaled it all down, and hopefully every video that's on our channel should be a video that I've like put some effort into. Do you know what I'm saying? Like put like edited or something. So that's the plan. All our podcasts are on our YouTube channel, so you can listen to the show on YouTube, but they're hidden in the playlists, right? So if you want to get that, every time I stream on Thursday, that is in a playlist. So they ain't going anywhere. They're just unlisted, so you can still get them. And some other shit is in the playlist as well. So if you want that content, not many people watch that stuff anyway. Not many people watch our podcast through YouTube alone. There might be some. Let me know if they are. But they're all on playlists. But basically, if you see a video on there, they're usually about 5-10 minutes long, and I've put some effort into it. So
And
that's
there's good stuff in that mix.
well, that's debatable, but it's getting better.
I'm just saying, when Chinny puts his mind to making a video, it's not just your usual, like, here's a bunch of boring people talking at a video games event. It's like funny captions, sound effects, the whole shebang.
Well, yeah, this week, so I did the PUBG player plays Fortnite, so that's what I did this week, so check that out. Got a few Red Dead things there. I've got some other stuff. I've recorded a Lara Croft video where I talk about Lara Croft being insane, so I need to edit that. All sorts of stuff. But the other video that I'm going to make is relevant to something that we have to announce. I need to make the Arcade Club meetup video.
Ooh.
Because
about a meetup happened in the past, or about the meetup that's going to happen next time?
a meetup that happened in the past. Last April, I think it was, we all met up in Bury in England, and I filmed some stuff. Never did anything with that footage. Classic Chinny move.
Could you say that you buried the footage?
That's correct. But yes, I don't know what the bell is, but I'm going to edit that in time with announcement, Stuart.
Indeedy do.
Do you want to say the
What-
date?
I can. Yes, we've been discussing this behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, it was like 2 texts or
It
whatever.
was 2 text messages.
2 text messages.
Need a drum roll.
But this year's meetup will be on April the 13th at, again, the Arcade Club.
Yeah, so we're going to meet up the same place. We're going to meet up the same place. I think I'm going to bring like my nieces and nephews and stuff, so kids are welcome. I know
Yeah.
Sumu said he's there. So basically, kids are fine. If you got kids, you bring the kids. If you don't have kids, grab a kid, bring those. That's
Yeah,
fine.
bring any kid.
Any kid.
Kid on the street. Hey, you want to come play video games with me in my van?
It's
Bring
totally
a
fine.
random kid.
It's
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
fine. But and then I was thinking we could organise something a little bit more organised, if that's a real sentence. Because what happened last year was it was a great venue, but we kind of got there and it was kind of sporadic, wasn't it? It's like everybody was
Yeah.
everywhere. So maybe I think they got some rooms downstairs where we could have something. I'll have to talk to them. I don't know. It might work out. It
Yeah,
might
let's
not.
figure it out.
We'll have to figure it out.
Because Andy is very accommodating in his.
I'm sure he is. I don't know the guy, but the we'll do something, and then we'll have a meal.
Definitely get more organised.
We'll have a meal afterwards, so anybody is welcome to join us, but we just need to know numbers. So what I'm going to
Yeah,
do.
I've got to say, last year's was a pretty good venue for the meal. Actually, it wasn't terribly far away, and it was good.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make an event on Facebook, and we're going to sort of run it through that. Okay, so if you're not following Veteran Gamers on Facebook, type in Veteran Gamers and look for the black and white logo, and check us out on there. And then give us a like and all that shit. And then I'm going to make an event on there, and it'll be through there. If you don't have Facebook, then just let us know, and we'll sort you out. But that's the plan. So after this show, by the time you hear this on the recording, when we publish it in 2 weeks, you will there'll be an event on our Facebook page. So go to that, make sure you book it, grab a kid, and bring them.
If you abduct a kid,
play.
if you abduct a kid, just make sure you put them back where you found them. When you go back, it'll be fine.
requesting that officially. That's a nice
What?
thing to do, but you don't have to.
No, you don't have to put them back. No, you can just leave
Oh
them in
yeah,
Bury.
don't put them back then. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
put them back.
Yeah. So that's the plan, and it was a great time. The thing is about picking a date, right? When you pick a date, somebody always can't make it. I know that, right? So it's kind of like you have to pick something. Do you know what I mean?
The least terrible date is the one we tried to pick.
Yeah. So that's the date.
Blew the-
It is a Saturday, and yeah. So come along. Everybody's welcome. If you're listening to this with your ears, you are welcome to come. It's all good, and
Anybody's welcome.
I might even touch you on video. So that's a promise that I'm not
No.
willing to keep, but
Sex promise.
we'll never
And
know.
it's cool because it's such a big venue now that we don't have to bother about booking numbers or anything because they can pretty much fit most people in. So it's not amazing.
As long as you get there early enough, you'll be all
yeah,
right.
yeah. Just don't try not to get there too late.
Don't get there too late, 'cause it does get Ramadama
It
ding
does
dong.
get busy. It does.
Okay, so that's our
announcements there?
announcement. So I'm doing more stuff on YouTube and Instagram. You might have noticed this week, Stu, that I went a little bit crazy on the Instagrams.
I did.
And Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So follow us on there. I'm trying to improve our YouTube channel. So if you listen to this and you're thinking, man, their YouTube channel was shit. Well, it still is, but just have a look at it
It's
anyway.
getting better. It's improving.
It's improving. So more stuff on there, and just let me know if you got any suggestions of content. If you want me to talk about anything, if you want me to, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I would dance naked for subscribers. I would, but I'm not gonna do
Probably
it.
would.
YouTube won't let me do that. But just anything really. I'm up for ideas. I've got some ideas myself, but yeah. So I'm trying that. We're on the Instagrams. Duke and Stu don't care about Instagram because they're old. So
Insta what?
exactly. And so I'm on there, and I always put some funny clips on Instagram, so that's good. Tidied up the YouTube channel. We're making an announcement April the 13th for Bury. I think that's about it, Stuart. I think that's all the announcements I need to make.
It is. Yeah. Moving on from announcements, I had quite an interesting day last Monday after.
Time. It's story time. Story time.
Because after the show last week, Chinny and I got to talking about the past because obviously we were talking about old shows and how we all started and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So
because Cobby asked us how we all met, and I was going to splice that bit and make a video of it, but you fucked it all up, Stu. That I just that was that. I listened back to that audio.
Right
I listened back to the audio. It was useless. So that fucked that video.
Useless. Yeah. But anyway, that all being said, I went to have a look back at old shows because I've got an old external hard drive that I've probably not plugged in for about 5 years.
Yeah.
That's got every show we ever did on it. Every show.
Wow. Every show.
Every show.
Can
And
you do something? You should make a program. Anybody who knows programming, help us out. Where it just randomly picks 30 seconds from every show.
That would be funny. That would be well funny. But I did find a particular show after a little bit of detective work.
Go on.
Which was the one that Duke was first off.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny listening back to it, and I'm like, "Oh, we've got a new voice tonight. He's all the way from America."
Hey, everybody, it's me, Duke. No, I was. I think I was very meek when I first came.
You were kind of very subdued. It was kind of funny listening back to it.
You had
and,
no idea what you were in for. That was the stealth approach. You suckers fell for it. Bah.
PC Sharky in the chat says you could code that simple enough.
Well, do it. Stop
do it
talking
then.
about it.
You're now the official VG
coder,
PC Sharky. Thanks.
Yeah, tell us how to do that because, we're guessing.
No, don't tell us how to do it. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. But
We don't have time for that.
we're guessing the name PC gives away that he's probably good at programming stuff. I'm right.
I don't think I got time for that.
But yeah, if you could do that, that would be very funny because I.
So have you got this clip? What Duke was on? Have you come
No,
here?
he's describing it. He didn't get it ready. He's not going to play it.
Well, I can't play it because I haven't got it, but I have sent it to you, Chinny, so I didn't know if you could do something with it.
To Chinny?
I sent it to
me.
I don't know if you noticed this, Stu, but
I don't know because you were asking about it.
Times it'll make sense. I'm the one who plays audio on the show.
I know.
It's video stuff.
I just did it with a wee transfer thing because I thought that Chinny might put it into his YouTube video thing of how we met and all that malarkey. So I don't know.
Okay. So this is news to me, right? That you've done
Yeah,
this.
well, do you use your Gmail account I sent it to? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
can
it's
only
mainly,
follow-
but my Gmail's mainly work, so I don't really pay
Attention,
attention.
listeners.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
You don't need to see how this show is made.
No.
Yeah,
it's
don't
true.
send shit to Chinny. That's the
We're
moral of
here
the
to
No,
talk
story.
my Gmail is work, and it's the fucking weekend. I don't look at that shit. I've just seen it. Yeah.
How
I
long
can
you
see
sent it you on Monday last week?
Maybe it was in my spam then. I don't know.
Listeners don't care about this.
No, it's true.
Anyway, we'll figure it out for next week. I'll
I have
send
a
it to
story.
you because he
I have
does that shit.
Nope, I have a story. It's my turn to talk.
Go.
There's a really cool podcast about movies, bad movies, called The Flophouse.
Okay.
And they came to Madison last night. So I got to see them live recording their podcast. The movie that they were talking about was Venom. Have you all seen Venom?
No.
Don't bother seeing it. It's not a very good movie, but it was great to watch them record the podcast. And while we were watching the movie, of course, I had to think of a question because they always open a mic up when they do a live podcast. So as soon as they were like, all right, it's time for questions, there's a mic. As soon as they pointed to the microphone, I was out of my seat and running toward it. And I got in line. And I waited and waited and waited. And then they go, all right, we're running out of time. Let's have 2 more questions. And one of the hosts goes, no, let's have 3 more questions. Guess which number I was in line?
Number 3.
I was number 4.
Oh, you kidding?
Wow.
That's so funny.
Bastards.
What you should have done was punch the person in front of you, and when they fell on the floor, just step
You know
over
what's
them.
funny about that, actually? When everyone was scrambling to run toward the mic, I was coming from the direction like of the microphone. So I was like, the line was forming in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people sort of coming, and I felt weird like stepping right in front of them right as they got to the end of the line. So I kind of like let a few people in ahead of me and then
Bastard.
got in line. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been
No.
a jerk, like
Fuck 'em.
elbow.
Whoa, Duke, you're taking this British thing way too far.
I know, right? I'm turned Canadian. You're well, you happy now, Stulek?
God, you're too polite. What is the matter with you? You're an American.
You beady little eyes and flapping heads.
So
You should
anyway,
have just
it
been
was
like
great
shoulder
show.
barging everyone out of the way.
And then I sent them an email saying, hey, you cut off the line right when I was about to ask a question. And so I complained about it on Twitter, and the dude goes, Elliot, there's 3 guys, so one of the guys on the show.
You.
He said, I think we answered your letter on today's podcast, which is going to come out before the Venom episode. So you're all good. So I hope that's true, because that would be cool. But I realized that, this happens whenever there's a public event where someone famous is talking. The asking of the question, because they were also after the show, like signing stuff and doing a merch table, I could have gone and asked them the question there, right? But there's a performative aspect, right? I wanted them to say in front of the whole room of people, that's a good question. You know what I mean? There's an ego boost involved.
Yes.
What you mean, like when I asked Peter Molyneux why the cube was just a money-making scheme?
Exactly. You
Exactly.
didn't really want an answer to that. You wanted everyone to go, yeah, suck it, Peter.
Good question, because Peter Molyneux is a fucking money grabber.
That's right. Suck it, Peter Molyneux.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
There
my
you go.
story. That's
There you go. It's a good story.
I watched that Fire Festival thing on Netflix today.
I've seen it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
I understand the people who put on the festival are the ones who made that movie, though.
Well, yeah,
probably.
I can believe that because the people
Isn't
that
kind of both, though, 'cause
yeah, but
you're
like,
giving them
but
money.
basically, the guy who, I mean, this is all told from the documentary's point of view, but the guy who fucked it all up at the top fucked the people over, right? So, but basically, the main guy fucked everyone over. So
I get-
they probably made the documentary to fuck him over.
I got you. Okay.
That
Well,
makes
I'm
sense.
curious. I think the marketing for it is a little heavy on the women's asses in bathing suits, but
You should watch it because that's what it's about, really.
Well, I'm sure.
Woohoo!
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. Is that it?
Where
Yeah.
are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
Yeah, let's do some games.
What you been playing? What you been playing?
And by the way, people, if you're hoping for a special feature on this week's show, we got one coming. We're going to be talking soon about our top 5 games of the first decade of this millennium. So just sit tight.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Because I've picked the first decade of the last millennium.
Oh.
So the video games that came out from 1000 AD to 1010 AD?
Correct, yeah.
I didn't think there were video games that came out then. There was Pong.
No, I think Red Dead Redemption was out by then.
Really?
Yeah.
What system? Because I think any consoles were out then.
The
oldie coal-powered console was out.
That's it.
A Commodore Wood.
Pyramid.
Commodore Wood. That was a great console.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so witty. All right,
Yeah.
who's doing this dumb wheel of choice?
Yeah, get the wheel going, Chitty.
Fuck.
Let's
I
have the
always forget
fucking
about
wheel.
the fucking wheel. Right.
I know, you should know.
Why
We've
did
done it
we
3
even
weeks
this
now.
up? Isn't there some other faster way to choose who's going to talk right
No,
now?
this is good. We
Get a
like it.
3-sided die. Get a 6-sided die, and just here. I have one right here.
No.
Roll this
We gotta do the wheel.
Do the wheel.
We
Why?
have to do
Why?
because
it's a wheel.
And
it's
you
what
hate
it's what the people want, Duke.
Yeah, they want the wheel.
what people are you talking
Listen,
about?
in the chat, they're just saying wheel, wheel, wheel.
Wheel.
You must have a
Spin
different
the
setup,
fucking
'cause I'm
wheel.
not seeing that.
Yeah, they are.
It
Okay.
will be- you'll have to tell me, by the way, because I still don't get anything on the stream
All right,
video-wise.
fine. So I'm
Well,
spinning.
stop looking at that stream then.
I'm spinning
don't
the
know, I'm
wheel.
refreshing both
I'm
of them.
spinning the wheel. Stu, it's you. Congratulations.
Hey, right.
Hey, Stu.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I finished Red Dead 2 fucking epilogue. The lot is done.
Dude.
Yay!
It is done.
And
Gotta say, doesn't have the same emotional impact as the first game, I don't think.
I can see why
Is
you
that
would
because
say
you
that.
wanted it to have one?
No, I don't. I just think that it's just would be difficult to follow, really, with
Sophomore
something
season.
as strong
Yeah.
as that. It's all right. It's all right. The epilogues, I were a bit like, even at the end of the epilogue, I was a bit like, I guess. I wasn't blown away by the epilogue, really, to be fair.
No,
And
no.
it takes a long time to get where it's going.
The epilogue is a bit of fan service, I think. To be honest, it's not
Oh, yeah.
the big thing about the ending of Red Dead 2 isn't in the epilogue. It's in it's the ending of like the main story. That's like the kind of the ending. But the epilogue is just kind of like, hey, remember this
But what
bit?
happened later?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, and I kind of like the credits into space with stuff.
Yeah, the credits are cool.
Well,
The credits are
The
cool.
credits are cool, but fuck me, they go on forever.
I've watched the credits 3 times.
You're mental.
35 minutes.
It's 35 minutes a time.
And,
Why?
and
Why
3
would
of
you
the
do-
songs in the credits I know how to play on.
Yeah,
my
they're
phone.
nice. Look, the songs are good. I'm not going to dispute that.
Mm.
But I'd rather have just had the usual, end.
Yeah, fuck that. One of the songs is so good that it makes me want to buy a banjo.
It is. There are. Look, I am not going to dispute.
Can I find it for Duke and then he
Yeah,
can
yeah,
play
of
it
course
on the
you can.
show? Because
Yeah, of course.
honestly, like I've said to Tara, I fucking love this song so much that I think I might buy a banjo.
Why
She
don't I
says,
have a go?
she said, I thought you was because my plan was I was going to buy a banjo when I was old, right?
Yeah.
Like as like a kind of like I'm doing this.
Ding, 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 ding.
But I'm like, no, I think I might actually just buy one now because I
I
want to
think you
play.
should do it. Chip. I'd love you
I
to
wa-
play a banjo.
I know.
That'd be amazing.
I think banjos are cool. And,
They are cool.
I put the link in the chat now, Duke, so you can play the bloody song. But it makes me want to. Oh my god, I want a banjo so much after this.
It is amazing, I must admit. I don't know, weirdly, right? And this is just a weird opinion, but I feel like in some ways Red Dead 2 was more epic than Red Dead 1, but in other ways it wasn't. I think the scale of it is obviously more epic, and obviously the breadth of the story and the size of the map is obviously bigger. You know what I mean? And places you can visit. But I feel like the actual story itself just isn't as strong.
Well, it's diminishing returns, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
being the second one. Like, it's just understandable that what happened at the end of the first one. You know,
But even the build up to that, I think, was better. I mean, I know it lags a little bit in Mexico in the first game.
It has
and,
been 8 years since you've played that game, so just be
but
wary of that.
It isn't. I mean, I have played it more recently. I did play it on the sort of PlayStation Now thing, and I didn't finish it, but I did play.
No, what I'm saying is
5,
that
6 hours
end
ago.
section where you're on the farm and your house on Red Dead 1 goes on for fucking ages.
Yeah, it does. Well, it does the same on this game. To be fair, let's be honest.
But like, people look back and sort of forget how long things are. Like everybody moan about Mexico in Red Dead 1.
But can I just give a warning? Spoilers, but Knocking in Nails mini game.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
saying.
So I can play that song as well.
Fucking knocking in. You know what I mean? Look, I appreciate where
Are
they're
you
going.
putting a link in the chat, Shinny? Because
I did.
Yeah, it's in the Skype chat.
Oh, the Skype chat.
The Skype. The Skype chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate what they tried to do at the end of the game. And
on this
and it is
game clip, it just said your horse is dirty. Oh, there's the song.
Yeah.
Here's the song.
Here we go.
Wasn't this in one of the trailers too?
Maybe. Sure.
It is nice. It's a nice tune.
I mean, that goes on for about 5 minutes, and it's just the
It does.
same
Oh, yeah, it
thing
does.
over and over again. That song.
I'd like to point out, I mean, speaking of that song, I love how Chinny's happy to take legal notice when it's music he wants to hear. But when it's music he wants to hear, then they're like,
We won't get copyrighted on that song, fucker.
How come?
Because we won't. Because it's a game music. It was made for the game. We won't get flagged. I don't know. I made
music
that
that was made for a game, we won't get flagged?
Usually it doesn't. No.
Well, we'll see. We'll wait and see.
I mean, because in that case, I can play anything I want from a video game, and it won't get in trouble. Miami Hotline.
So I was playing Black Ops 3 or something, and there's a bit in that where it plays like a popular song, and when I try to publish that video, it just went, "This is blocked in all countries, and you can never see. In fact, I've just gouged your eyes out." And I'm like, "Wow."
Wow.
How
It's a
about
bit
that?
strong.
Oh, I had that song queued up actually. I like playing that clip because I can visualize people going and like recoiling when they hear it in their ears real loud.
So yeah, I mean, my overall assessment to Red Dead 2 is that it's a solid game.
Thanks, Stu.
It's solid, but it's not the best game I've ever played.
Well, yeah, you know.
I feel like, you know what you like, and I know like I'm sort of stealing your lines here, but I feel like it didn't value my time. Because there's
That's
so
true.
many bits where you fucking at the end, there's bits where you're traveling so far from one side of the map to the other. Like, and I know I've harped on about this, but it's annoying.
There's like I think it's an inside joke at Rockstar, and they just sit around a table and they go, "How can we steal more people's time?"
I know. I feel like they do. I absolutely think that's what they did.
Or they say, you know what? This is what it's like to be a cowboy, and you sometimes have to ride your horse.
Because in San Andreas, they went, "How can we just like make people do stupid things that's really unnecessary? Go to the gym. All right, no worries.
Just do it. Just do it.
Fuck
man.
it.
It was fun. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What's also interesting, when you finish the game, obviously, and then it drops you back into the game so you can do stuff. I've got one random mission left, which I was I didn't expect anything, so I was like,
there's lots of stuff to do when you finish.
Yeah, so I might dip back in, but that'll only be for a week because I've stuck it on eBay, so it's going.
Oh, Stu.
I know it's gonna go. I don't care. I'm not bothered. What's really funny is though, I put it on eBay like £10 starting bid tonight, and I've had about 6 offers, and the highest one was 16 quid. Like I'm gonna sell it to someone for 16 quid.
Have you been to Armadillo yet?
I don't think I have. No.
You should go to Armadillo.
Can I just check? You know Blackwater
Mhm.
in the game.
Yes.
That's the main town you're in Red Dead 1, is it not? Is that correct?
Correct.
It looks completely different, or is that just me?
It is very different, but it's developing. So in the next, I think it's like 6 years later or whatever, the the town develops a lot, and there's a lot of things in the papers about how Blackwater is like a really up and coming town,
Yeah, but
and everything's
just
under
look-
construction.
but is that wait a minute? Let me just check which town this is. Is that the town?
It's the
where-
modern. It's the only
No,
town that, like got cars in it.
Yeah, so that's which is the town near where the first ranch you go to in Red Dead 1. What's that called?
Armadillo.
Oh, that's Armadillo. Because I'm thinking this is Armadillo, and I'm like, I don't remember Armadillo looking
No,
like this.
so if you go to Armadillo in Red Dead 2, you'll be like,
Yeah.
this is...
Yeah, I need to do that then maybe because I thought Blackwater was
No.
Armadillo.
And then there's
so I
another
got
ranch called Tumbleweed.
confused.
There's one called Tumbleweed as well. So
Right.
basically, the top half of Red Dead 1 is in Red Dead 2, right? But the weird thing about Red Dead 2 is that you don't go to it in the story. If you play the
No, you
whole
never go
story,
to it.
you never go. But it's there, all right? And when you go there, there's shit to do. How weird.
I'll have a look.
Have a look. Have a
because I
ride
need to
down.
do
It's
that. Before I sell it, I need
yeah,
to do that.
it's worth a
don't I?
ride down there, definitely. Especially in Armadillo, it's worth a ride down there.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you can go to Bonnie's Ranch and all that kind
You
of
can
stuff.
go to Bonnie's Ranch, and on the Red Dead Online, Bonnie is in the game.
Cool.
Yeah, but she's dangling from a noose.
She's not. She's a teenager actually on Red Dead Online.
Bonnie McFarlane. Is that right? Is
That's
that her name?
correct.
Yeah, there you go. Shows memory, you see.
Yo.
Memory. But yeah, after the show, I'm going to have a chat with you, Ginny, because there was something I didn't quite understand about the epilogue. So I'll chat to you later when it's spoiler free.
No problem.
But yeah, needless to say, it's a good game, but I think that it has got its issues. It's not perfect.
Well,
There
yeah.
you go. There you go.
We'd all agree with that. I mean, is there
Yeah.
any game that is perfect? Rhetorical question. Don't start listing your favorite games.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, don't start listing your favourite games from the noughties. Who cares? Right, over to you, Chinny, to spin the wheel.
Wait a minute. Hang on. 1 sec. Whoa. All right, spinning the
He's
wheel.
not content to just spin it. He has to put it up on the screen with the tongue licking it.
Okay, Duke, you've won. Well done.
Hey! So I've been playing some Rocket League. Now wait, before you put me on mute and go to the bathroom, I actually have something new to talk about. Because I was feeling frustrated by the game, and so I decided, you know what? It's been a long time since I looked at any videos about how to improve in Rocket League, and I found a bunch. And one of the things that I found was that people said, you need to play duel. If you're going to get better at this game, you have to play some one-on-one games because it's so easy to blame your teammates, but you need to deal with what you're doing wrong. So I've been forcing myself to play some duel games. And God, that mode is difficult.
Yeah.
Because it requires a different kind of thinking. But here's the good news. Because I've been playing a lot of duel games and because I've been watching videos about, like, there's techniques that I never even knew about. I don't know if you know about these, Chinny. Like, there's one called, like, the wave bump or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you kind of settle your back wheels down and then you do a front flip. But
Oh,
you don't
I was being funny, but I actually do know about that one. Yeah.
Okay, well, I get your joke. Ha ha, aren't you cute? But and then there's also the half flip when you want to turn around, which and I just don't get that. I don't understand how you do that.
I don't know what that is. No.
Anyway,
Yeah, I've only just got the hang of that, to be fair.
but the point is, you keep mocking me. It's cute.
I'm not mocking you, Duke. I'm not mocking you.
My name is all. Here's the thing. Look, the number one thing the videos are emphasizing is learning from your mistakes, not jumping around all the time, which is a big thing in duel. Because the way I play most of the time is jump toward the ball, hit it as fast as you can, and beat the other person to the ball. But what they point out is, in one of the videos I watched, the guy said, if you jump a lot, you have to spend a lot of time recovering when you miss the ball. And even if you hit it, you still have to recover.
True.
So if you can get about the same accuracy without jumping, you don't have that recovery built in. So I've been doing that. And basically, the other thing they talk about is being economical with your boost and not using it up whenever you have it. Like, I've been putting those two things into effect, and they've really helped my game. In fact, in the last week, not only have I gotten back to platinum, oh yeah, but I got back to platinum 2.
Fuck.
Wow.
In doubles. Now in duel, I'm still in silver because duel is a nightmare. It's crazy. But in
So
doubles,
hold on. Duel is 1-on-1, right? Is that
Yeah,
what
that's
it's- right.
So it's just very interesting to see, I've known that I've been making mistakes, but other than like, don't miss the ball, it's hard for me to figure out what I need to do differently. You know what I mean? But since watching these videos and like, they talk about train, don't just play games and think you'll get better just by playing. That's a good thing to do, but you have to do some training exercises. And it's a good way to think about it because first of all, I suck at dribbling. I am the worst dribbler anybody has ever been in this game. And certainly I realized recently that I made it to the 2,000 hour mark, which is ridiculous.
Wow, that is a lot of time.
I don't say it with pride, but whatever. It's a fun game. I'm not ashamed of it.
Hey, it's a game.
So, but I should be better at dribbling given how much time I've played this game for.
You should be better at that.
I'm trying to work on that. I'm getting a little bit better. But so what I'll do is when I sit down to play the first time that day, like I'll do a training mode where I just put it on free play and then like I'm going to dribble the ball to each of the boost globes, 6 points around the field, right? So that I have to kind of go through the pace. There's probably things I can download. Actually, there's like custom training things you can download, but I don't want to deal with that. I just want to, go through my own.
You just want to dribble everywhere.
Exactly. So I've been doing that and it's been helping. And it makes me feel like, yes, it's still frustrating when I lose. Yes, I still miss the ball a lot, but I don't get as irritated with myself because there are things I'm doing better now. So that's a good feeling.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're getting back to your your required level.
I feel like that's the level of player. I know I'm not a diamond player, right? I'm not at that level yet, right? Maybe someday. But I'm also no longer really a gold player. You know what I mean? So I feel like platinum's where I belong. And when I'm not at a platinum, when my rank isn't at platinum, then I get really irritated. So I feel much happier. So whatever. Anyway, that's Rocket League. And I've been playing some Insurgency, but I don't have anything to say about that. So that's
right. We'll come back to you in a minute then, Duke, and over to you, Chinny.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll talk about Fortnite, seeing as we mentioned it. Fortnite. So I don't really know why I haven't played Fortnite.
You're a PUBG purist, and you don't.
Yeah.
I'm PUBG snob.
I'm a PUBG snob, but then I liked Blackout and stuff, and I've always intended to give Fortnite a go, but I always wanted to make a video about it, right? And then whenever like I'm gonna make a video about it, everything stops, so because then I don't make it. But I decided to give it a go and thought, fuck this, right? I'm gonna play it finally and check it out. And I don't know. It's kind of like what you expect, really. There's not much that I didn't expect from it. I suppose.
Now, for those who have no idea, let's say someone's heard a lot about Fortnite but never.
Okay.
That's me. That is me. I've no idea.
That's not true because you'll know some of the things that I'll say. So Fortnite is a game where you start with 100 players on the map and you can parachute in anywhere on the map. You start with nothing.
What?
You start with nothing. And there's loot all over the map, and you can grab the loot. And the loot is usually guns, things like shields, grenades, all sorts of stuff. And the special thing about Fortnite is that you can knock everything down. You can build stuff like little ramps and stairways and walls and things like that. And also, there's lots of Fortnite does a lot of things to have fun with the format. So they have crazy skins that you can buy. They have all these weird platforms. Like the one thing that I did learn that I didn't know exists is that there's like a warp. So if you've got one, you just pick it up like not any other loot. If you've got one, it actually when you throw it down and run into it, it warps you back into the circle if you're close out. If you're out of it, there's also
hard to get that warp or.
It's just loot, so you might find it, you might not, kind of thing. So.
And let me ask, sorry, before you go on, in terms of the building, you've played a lot of PUBG, which doesn't have building. How much does that change the game?
A lot. It does change a lot because, it's a different thinking method.
Yeah.
So, for example, something, and I just want a special shout out to Sumu, but not Sumu himself, Sumu's son, who played with me. I asked the
All right.
chat. I stream every Thursday at 7 p.m., as you know. And I said to the chat, hey, does somebody want to play with me? 2 people said, I don't have it on the console that you're playing on. Another person said, I'm going now. And I said, fuck you. And then Sumu said, my son is playing and he's waiting for his real friends to show up, but he'll play with a loser like you. And I said,
for a bit.
That's fine. So,
And sorry, playing on the Xbox, is that right?
I was playing on the Xbox One, and Will, who was Sumu's son, we met him at the arcade club, and we'll probably meet him again this year.
This is going to be Chinny's bridge to the next generation. Like, I play Fortnite, you know me.
Look, I'm not old.
So this is what I say to like Jimmy and Madeline. I'm like, you need to tell me what's relevant because I stay young through you, and every time you don't tell me, I get a little bit older and I start talking about fence panels and mortgages. So you got to stay with me, and they're like, okay. So anyway, so Will played Fortnite with me, and Will was very nice. He's a 16-year-old lad, and he plays Fortnite a lot, and he knows a lot about it. So he was introduced me to these things. So what happened was, which is interesting, which is something that I'm not used to, is I got shot. I was down, and it was in the open, right? So the PUBG in me goes, well, I'm fucking dead, right? That's it. There's nothing I can do. Will's like, yeah, all right, no worries. And I'm like, he's going to save me. And he ran over to me, and he built a fucking wall around me. And I was like, of course. Why didn't I didn't think of that. And he just built...
your own wall, huh?
Well, I can't because I'm down, right? But he
down,
like,
can't
me
build.
being out in the open, almost dead, isn't that big of a problem in Fortnite. I mean, it's still a problem, but he built like about 3 layers of walls and then just picked me up. And it was like...
Wait a minute, wait. I'm sorry, Chinny. I hate to interrupt, but someone's playing soccer in Fortnite here.
Yes. So the other thing
Why
is...
didn't you tell me that there's Rocket League?
There is. So the other thing about Fortnite is that like there's like things to do in the map as well. There's like... I mean, they have this in Blackout as well.
Battle Royale video games are too boring for you.
Distractions is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, Blackout has this, and Fortnite has seasons. So at the moment, everything's covered in snow because it's I don't know what it's like season 7 or some shit like that. I have no idea. Right?
Winter season, presumably.
Well, it's season 7, not season as in winter. No, but it's like season as in TV show season, Stu. As in TV show.
I get it, but the reason there's snow is because it's winter outside. So
yeah, I know.
But
season 5 was an astronaut. There isn't a fucking not an astronaut. A meteor. There's not a fucking meteorite landed on the ground.
Might have been.
There's one in my house.
Yeah. Right. So that's
there's meteorites all the time. You just don't see them.
Well, the dash cams in Russia do. Right. So anyway, so the other thing is like there's things in the map. There's like zombies at the moment, and they're like kind of like ice frost zombies, and the main reason to shoot them is loot. Will told me, and he says like if you see a gold one, and they're pretty common, the gold ones, just shoot it and you get stuff. But obviously, if you shoot like zombies, people know where you are, and it attracts attention, and so on and so forth. So there's a swings and roundabouts sort of portion to it. What else is it? There's planes. I didn't really know there was planes in Fortnite.
I saw you in like a biplane with your propeller. And
I never knew that before. So there's that. There's like the soccer ball that you can play with. There's a cool thing that I'll try and find in the stream. But there was I picked up a snowman, and I was like, what's this snowman? And the snowman was a grenade, right? And I found out if you hold the left trigger, you turn into it.
Huh.
Oh, I saw this. I thought it was like a costume that you were in.
No, you turn into it. There I am on the stream.
Yeah,
so I was basically
so
what you can do, you can throw a couple of snowman grenades, and they make little snowmen, and then you can turn yourself into a snowman, right? And then just hide.
So it has an advantage in the game.
Yeah, and Will told me, he says if you throw the grenade at somebody else, it turns them into a snowman.
Interesting.
So there's like, it just fucks with the format to a point where I'm like, I can totally see why people,
it's not just another Battle Royale game. It's become it sounds sort of like, what's the guy who made Rust, his first Gary's Mod? It sounds a little...
It is a bit like that, but I suppose, it's quite an interesting sort of topic, I suppose. That
I think what we forget is that Epic are good game developers.
well,
Who forgets that? What are you talking about?
the
we
key.
kind of do because we just think Fortnite. Oh, look at that! Kids love it. It must be crap because kids love it.
No, the key is right the speed of implementation, right? So like you've got Blue Hole Studios, like Korean studio, Irish sort of lead chap, and they make this game which is kind of like from a mod. They've got limited resources, and and then you've got Epic Games that have a game, that have an engine, that have a platform called Fortnite, which is failing, by the way. Fortnite was a failing platform, and then they went
right, because it did exist before.
It did exist before, and that game mode still exists. Save the World,
and purists still love that game.
Yeah, well, they're crazy, but that mode. So what they did was like, right, they know their game isn't working. For one, the reason why they made the game doesn't exist. Cliffy B isn't there anymore. He came up with the game. Also, the horde mode, zombie mode, building a fort kind of phase had finished. Do you know what I mean? Like, by the time they made that game, that kind of phase and mode had finished. Like, the whole survival aspect wasn't really doing it anymore. So then they saw this fad, and they very, very quickly went, let's do it. What have we got to lose? Let's make it free. And it's polished as fuck. And they just add to it. They never stop adding content to it. And why wouldn't you come back? Do you know? Because it just keeps drawing you in. And if I was a young lad and I didn't have a lot of money, or lass, money is a resource that you don't have a lot of when you're a teenager. It's
some kids have access to their parents' money, but
it's much more finite when you find out when you're older, but you can't really spend money on loads of games. So it's a no-brainer, and it was a perfect mixture of speed of implementation, right studio, right time, failing project that they had in the works, right price tag. It was so cool and interesting how they did it. I suppose I played it for more academic reasons than anything. I did have a little bit in me today where I said, you know what, I would play it again. I would. I can see.
It was to be fair though, it was kind of like the perfect storm, wasn't it? It's like you said, everything just happened at the right time, and it freaking went off like a firework, didn't it? And all these kids just latched onto it, and before you knew it, I mean, Epic have made billions from it. I mean, literally billions of pounds or dollars or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Apple wasn't the first people to make a touchscreen phone.
Yeah.
But they just did it.
Or a graphical user interface, for that matter.
The way they messaged it was just fantastic, and
Blizzard didn't invent anything with,
Blizzard are masters at create tweaking stuff that works.
They take things that other people have made and they just do it really, really well.
Because Cliffy B made a game that was basically Overwatch. I forgot what it was called. It was like Lightbreakers or something like that.
It didn't do well.
And it didn't do well because it just looked generic. Do you know what I mean? It just looked like everything. There was nothing about it. But Overwatch, Blizzard just know what they're doing. They're so fucking clever.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing, and this is a question I'd ask, is if it wasn't for the success of Fortnite, would we be seeing this Epic Games Store now? Were they giving away these free games every month, 2 games a month for free?
No way.
It wouldn't be there, would it? And also they're giving back to a lot of the people who develop for Unreal, aren't they? And they're sort of reducing the amount of profit they're taking from
what Epic are doing is they realise in the last, 4 or 5 years, there's a bit of a swing back against Steam. Right, Steam have got a monopoly, right? But Epic stumbled into this gold nugget of a game, made a fucking ton of money, and where do you look? How do you make guaranteed income in the games industry, right? Because it ain't making games, all right? It's fucking selling them, selling the games. Valve absolutely did that perfectly, but they get a lot of backlash with no competition, nothing. They compete to nobody.
Origin, hello.
Yeah, nobody, right? And the Fortnite like just made them so much money. There was like Origin isn't doing it, Steam isn't doing it. Let's give back to developers. Let's get some library on there, and developers will come, and then the people will come. That's what they have to do, and that's what it's very, very smart.
All right, enough of the industry chat. We're supposed to be talking about games we've
Anyway,
Look, it doesn't matter.
Fortnite is a cool game. I can see why people like it. I would play it again. I probably ain't gonna play it. I ain't gonna go out my way to play it again. But if anybody said to me, "Hey, do you want to play? Can you play Fortnite again on the stream?" and I'll join you, I will play it again. That's the end of Fortnite.
There you go. Spin the wheel.
Yeah, I know. I'm not delaying.
By the way, I forgot. I have to tell y'all. At 6 o'clock, I'm out. Like I have to leave exactly if we're not done before.
It's 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock to us.
Right.
Right. Okay. Let's go then.
Right, go.
You should have said that at the start, really.
Yeah,
oh, it's me. It's me.
It's you.
Okay.
Well, shall we just do one more game each, and then we need to
Well,
get
I've only
on
got
to
one
the
anyway.
top...
So I've been playing Life is Strange episode 2. And I think I've come to a conclusion how I feel about this game overall. So.
Oh God.
Okay.
I don't like it.
No, fair enough.
No.
Not because I think it's bad.
I just want to say, this game. I'm done.
I've thought about it long and hard, and I thought if this game was a Netflix show, I wouldn't watch it.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I'm happy that it exists, but it just kind of, I mean, it's all a bit twee for me, but also there's silly things that she gets stuck in a fucking train track in this episode. Chloe does, and the game mechanic in this game is you can rewind time, and then you have to kind of find this thing. Just rewind time and just tell her to not get stuck in the fucking track. It's like unnecessary drama. That was really boring, and I felt like there was only existed because they made a clip in the end of episode 1. They showed you a clip of the next episode, and they put that in, and I didn't like it. You could see things coming a mile off. I don't like it. Like I said, if it was a show, I wouldn't watch it. I appreciate it. I'm really glad that people like it. I think the soundtrack is very good. I will continue playing it.
Because you give up on games is why.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it's not the worst game in the world. For him, I don't think, is what he's saying.
What did you say, Eric?
I said you don't give up on games, so
I don't give up on games. Yeah, there's just things about it.
Just trying to get you to say something positive about it. So it's not the worst game in the world, right?
It's not.
No. For you, what I'm saying is, it's not like a deadly premonition to him, shall we say?
No, it's not. No, it's not a bag of shit, right? It's just, it's good. I can see what they're doing. I find it a little bit kind of. It makes me sort of sick a bit. I'm like, oh God, and it's just something I wouldn't watch. Do you know what I mean? I just wouldn't watch it. All right, I just turn it straight off.
Let's be honest, Ginny. You're not the most emotional guy in the world.
That's not true. That's not true. I will watch, a film if it's got something to it. Like I like stories. I just don't like this kind of like hella good shit and. I just don't. Like,
it's trying very hard to be like, hey,
edgy.
Kid, am I right?
It's trying to be edgy, right? And I can see why Madeline, my niece, loves it because it doesn't talk down to people. If it doesn't, kids can play this game and it doesn't talk down to them. It's like adult themes and things like that and things they can relate to. The one thing that I found really funny was like there's a young girl in the game and she has there's a viral video of her like getting off with a load of blokes at a party, and these girls are teasing her, and they go like, I'm gonna fucking write the link on the mirror, right? She writes the video link on the mirror, all right, and I'm like, A, how do you remember the link? B,
yeah.
Why the fuck would you just send it to people? Like, what are you doing? She's like
using bit.ly or google.gl.
This was in a dorm, like girls' shower, right? It's like so everybody that knew. It was just so fucking stupid.
And let's be honest.
These kids are into this internet thing. I think we should have them write down a URL. That's what kids do, right?
Oh God.
This was only 2015, so it's not like it's a long time.
No, I don't know.
Sorry,
I could send you a fucking video on WhatsApp in 2015. Don't
Yeah,
be
you
ridiculous.
could. You could. Look, I can't look. I'm not going to argue with you that this game has got some clunky dialogue
cheese and some embarrassing
cheese
edgeness that
and
isn't
stuff
very-
that doesn't quite work. But
I'm glad it
at
exists. I'm happy
at
that
the
it
heart
exists.
of it all, I love the story.
I can
love
see
what
like
they tried to do.
I think episode 1 like ends well. If that's something I want to say positively, I think it ends well. It's a great song. I played it before we started recording on the guitar. It's a great sounding song. It's good. Like it's good in some ways. I appreciate what it's doing. I'm happy that it exists. I'm happy that people like it. I will continue to play it. It's fucking dumb in places, and I like the fact in the diner. It labelled one of the women weird lady, and when I spoke to her, she was just Canadian. There was nothing weird about her. She just said "a" at the end of every sentence. Anyway, that's the end of Life is
Well,
Strange.
to be fair, right, just as a counter.
Stuart's always going to have the last word, isn't he?
I know, only as a counter though.
Always have the
Is
last word.
like fuck me. Frigging the gang in Red Dead 2 do a fucking lot of dumb shit that you would never do in real life.
Yeah, but that's a great game. So anyway, let's move on.
Exactly. Just saying.
Let's move on.
Just saying.
They wouldn't put a link on a mirror, that's for sure. Right.
No, but they do a lot of dumb shit.
All right, come on, Lynn. Duke's got to go.
All right, I'll go next. We'll not
An
even
hour
bother
and a
with
half
the
from
wheel.
now. Let's not pretend like I'm in some huge rush.
We'll not even bother with a wheel. But yeah, I'm gonna go on to Life is Strange 2 episode 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've been playing that. I'm only part way through the episode, so I can't give a full assessment of it. But it's quite a slow episode so far. The first one had a real good mix of action and sort of more thoughtful moments.
Right.
The second episode at the moment, it seems to be kind of a way of getting to where they need to get to kind of episode. You know, it's sort of more. It's quite nuanced. I'll give it that. You know, it's very subtle, but the problem's always going to be when you're making a video game. It isn't it's not cutting edge graphics, so facial expressions are a little bit lost. You know, they're not. It's not the best art style for trying to portray emotion and stuff.
Yeah.
But the voice acting's really, really good. I kind of like where they're going with it. And it's interesting because it's kind of, it has got some similarities to the final season of The Walking Dead, in so much as like you've got a little brother that has something and you've got to try and steer him in the right direction. So there are some similarities, I feel. But it is a story obviously on its own, and that's where the similarities start and stop really. You know, with that and The Walking Dead, but. The character development's, you know, good. They've definitely toned down all of the teenage like speak that they tried to achieve in the first Life is Strange. Like you said, it just doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
And I think this is a way better effort. It's much better written.
Yeah.
The dialogue is way better.
One of the reasons why I'm playing Life is Strange 1 is my niece. Both nieces actually really like it, so I just want to sort of play it to see what they're up to.
Stay young,
but also just, you know, it's just cool to experience stuff that they're into. I appreciate that, right? But also the other reason why is I heard the plot of the second season, which sounds a lot more interesting to me than this one. So I'm sort of getting through the first one to get to the second one.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy it, so it's all good.
And because you bought it.
I've got it on Steam, so you're more than welcome to play it when I finish. But
I'll catch up.
But so far, so good. The only thing I'm like, has it been worth the 4-month wait? And there is a problem, from what I can gather on some of the Steam reviews or on Metacritic, in so much as you could buy the first episode standalone.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people went and did that, and then the second episode you can't buy standalone, and you've just got to buy the season pass now if you want to play the rest of the game.
That's how it's always worked.
Yeah, but you always get the people whinging about it. I don't
know. Just buy the fucking whole game. You know, if you're gonna play it, because the first episode is usually free eventually anyway. So if you're on the fence, wait for it to be free. If you're not on the fence, just buy the whole fucking thing.
Just buy the fucking game. But yeah, it's very good. I'm very impressed so far, and like I say, it's a bit slow, but I can live with that.
Life is Strange too. All right, let's keep it moving.
Right, Duke, have you got any more games to talk about?
So yes, I do. I'm really quick just going to say Collisions and Super Chains are great games. I gave away copies of them last week. The developer has been chatting with me on Steam. He gave me a bunch more codes.
Wow.
Nobody got in touch with me on Steam to request those codes. So I have more. If anybody wants to play these games, please do.
I will push. I will push them out more this week on Twitter and Instagram for you.
Don't put those. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about another game. I'll come back to those next week. I finished Collisions, but whatever. I want to talk about a game called What Never Was. This is a free-to-play game on Steam. It's about an hour long, and it's the only thing this guy's ever made. I don't remember the guy's name, but it's basically one person, it seems. Because when it says, developer name, it's like the guy's name.
Dave.
Right, Dave. But he knows what he's doing. This is a very well-made puzzle game. You're in your grandpa's attic.
Oh, there's a Nintendo 64.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, right.
In
yeah,
the box.
there is in the game. Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Right. When you click on it, she goes.
Ginny got very excited then.
Yeah, game of the year.
Goes, chapter's busted. Oh, I shouldn't be playing it anyway. But you can tell they're appealing to your sense of nostalgia.
Yep. Game of the year.
It's very well done. Your grandpa's gone, and you're sorting through his stuff in the attic, and there's a mystery for you to solve. And just when it starts to get really interesting, you're done. So and it says like that's a story for another time. So the sense I get is he's showing off how good he is at this. He gives you a little taste of something, and I didn't bother putting any Let's Play in because it would be the whole thing. But it's really well done. The mechanics are good, the aesthetics are good, the movement is good, and I think if this guy makes a full game, he's gonna nail it because it's really well done. So everybody who's on Steam, go check out What Never Was. It's free to play. It's about an hour long. And it's really awesome.
It looks like my kind of thing. It does remind me of, and you hated this game, Marie's Room. You remember Marie's Room?
I don't remember Marie's Room.
That's the one where you're sorting out the dead girl's bedroom and you're going through her stuff.
Yeah. I think that.
And you didn't like it. You didn't like that game.
I didn't like that. But I think they kept the story to a minimum here. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it because there's anything I say is going to kind of get things.
Fair enough.
But it didn't really matter for this game, and I felt like that other game had a lot of story in it. It was very heavy with the story, so I think they did a good job in keeping the story minimal here. So
yeah, very good.
What Never Was. What's up?
What Never Was. Right. Okay. Right. We need to move on because we've got a ton of stuff to get through in the second part of the show.
See what
tonight.
happens when you ask for emails?
I know. We got a lot of emails.
You're fucking welcome.
Oh, wait a minute. We've got another one as well.
Are we going to do the games of the millennium so far?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Bitch. Yeah, bitch! Yeah, bitch! Play my game, bitch.
Yeah, it's got the Breaking Bad connection.
Yeah, bitch!
So I've thought about how to do this, right? And it's a tricky. I shouldn't have. Seth on Twitter corrected me, and I shouldn't have included 2010, but I did. But I did, and this is a fucking stupid list that we made up, so no one cares. So you're right, Seth, but also fuck off.
Yeah, we don't.
I love you, Seth.
Millennium doesn't actually begin until 2001.
Yeah, so it's basically 2000 to 2010. So Seth was right, but I love you, Seth, but no.
Whatever.
And I suppose we can just. What I was thinking of, I've got an order, right? And I don't want to, because what I did is I listed pretty much every game that I loved, and then just whittled it down.
Yeah,
so
I did. It was so
difficult. So I'm not going to list. This is very important. I'm speaking to you, Stuart, right?
I know.
Don't list every game you wrote down.
I'm not. I've done 5.
But
it was hard. But
I know.
Stuart.
What I'll do is I'll run through games that didn't make the list, some honourable mentions, right?
Okay.
But I'm not all of them. And then I'll run through.
Here's the caveat. As soon as you say a game that's on someone else's list, they say, that's on my list, and you have to stop talking about it.
Okay. That's fine.
That's cool. Right. So, some honourable mentions, and it was fucking difficult. One honourable mention for me is Grand Theft Auto 3.
Stop. That's on my list.
Cool. All right. It's the rules say that.
It's not on my list.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's not on my list.
Oh, that's on your list.
Yeah,
The
what
reason
about
why I picked GTA 3 because I wanted to pick GTA 3 because it was such a fucking groundbreaking game, right?
Yeah,
And
I totally appreciate
I
that.
really didn't want to make this list about the best games of the noughties. You know what I mean? I wanted to make this list the fucking games that I fucking loved. That me. Do you know what I mean? Like, cause you could put like Smash Brothers Melee, but like, I didn't really think it was a big deal. I liked it, but so on and so forth. Pikmin is one that I was really, really sad that I couldn't put on the list. It just pipped it off. I know I'm gonna say one, but I know it's on Duke's list, so I won't bother. Mafia 2 is one that I absolutely love.
Down.
Yeah. Okay. And then a couple of interesting things. There's on all the games I wrote down, there are 4 Rockstar games, right? Every Halo game, up to so Halo 1, 2, and 3 was on my list when I started. Yeah, and that's pretty much the only interesting things about it. Yeah, so it's difficult. All right, here's my top 5. I suppose they're in order. At number 5, Gears of War.
Yeah, that's on my honourable mentions, but not in my top 5.
Okay, so I'll talk about Gears of War. Took my life for a long, long time. Blew me away. I think it was the best introduction to the 360 generation ever.
That's the game that made me want to get a 360 because I went to my friend's house and I watched him play it, and the way that the screen changed when you sprint, that really blew me away. And I was like, I need to get this console.
Yeah, that for me was one of the best trailers. Even now, the trailer was just incredible.
Gears of War. They ought to call it Tears of War.
Tears of War. I mean, in all honesty, the game Gears of War sold a lot of people. Like, it was a console seller. We don't get many console sellers anymore, but you don't get them. What was the name of the fucking? I'll just put Gears of War trailer and it'll come up on it. That trailer will come up. Of course, Mad World. That was it, wasn't it? Mad World.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the Gary Jules version of it.
Gary Jules.
Yeah, and then don't forget, what was the other game that took the piss out of it? Was Battlefield Bad Company, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was
they did a piss take trailer.
Yeah, I mean that just shows how successful that trailer was. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that Battlefield Bad Company came out 2 years later, so that's how fucking good that trailer was. I mean, like, I think the part that sold it for me on that game was, I mean, you got a chance on your gun for a start, but like, there's a moment I think it's towards the end of the trailer where Marcus is shooting, and the light from his gun is lighting the area around him.
Yeah, he's in like a building, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's really dark.
And I was just like, wow, like that looks so cool.
Do you know what I think is, like, when I first got my 360, I played what were a lot of PC ports at the time, like I'm trying to think, like Unreal tournaments and things like that, things that have been ported over from PC.
Yeah.
And I began to realise, and myself and Sean, thinking, Chewy talked about the 360 so much before it came out and how it was blurring the lines between consoles and PCs, because even then PCs were so far ahead of a console.
Yeah.
In terms of power and graphics and stuff. And then suddenly the 360 arrived and
jumped everything.
Yeah, and then suddenly it's like, fuck me, I can play games on here that look as good, if not sometimes better than PC stuff. And that was the first time. And when Gears of War came out, it looked like nothing on the PC. It was totally unique to a console and looked incredible.
Yeah. I don't know, Gears of War just feels like a game that was made from somebody's vision, where I feel like Gears of War 4 is made with the fans in mind. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
they wouldn't make Gears of War how it is today. They wouldn't make a game so male dominated like that anymore.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, if it wasn't for Gears of War, the 360 wouldn't have been as powerful as it was.
Yeah, no way.
At the time, because Cliffy B went around, this is how it looked with, and I can't even remember, it was barely any RAM, wasn't it? It was something like, they were going to originally do 256.
It was 500 meg in the end. Yeah,
and he did 512 and went, and this is what it looked like on 512, and they were like, right, let's do it. And they upped the RAM. Just because of that one game.
Yeah, so that Gears of War was number 5 on my list. I got the Seriously achievement on my old gamer tag, and unfortunately, I don't have that anymore. But it did take my life, and I love it. I absolutely love that game. So yeah, the next game on my list is
or do we want to do like each one do their 5
on each?
Their 3.
I was just gonna run through mine, then you run through yours, and then I'll do it quicker. I'll do it quicker.
It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Take your time. It's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the next one is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
I should have had that on my list, but I didn't. There's no.
Yeah, I didn't even have that as an honourable mention, even though I played a shit ton of that game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Now that I have a chance to intellectually come up with something, the reason I don't have it on my list is because it did the same thing that another game on my list did. So
fair enough.
That's a little enigmatic hint about one of the games.
It's Modern Warfare 2. But Call of Duty 4, I think I preferred Call of Duty 4 to Modern Warfare 2. Mainly because it was first. You get that diminishing returns. It's kind of like Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2 with you, Stu.
I think that with Modern Warfare 2, they added just enough new stuff.
That's true. That's true. Like, I don't get me wrong. I loved Modern Warfare 2. You know what I mean? Like, but I remember just seeing the trailer for Call of Duty 4 and going, "Oh my god!" Like the Call of Duty modern day. That was such a weird concept. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I was like,
because for those who don't know, and some of our listeners might be too young to realize this, all the previous Call of Duty games had been World War II. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was just like, they can't do that in modern day. And I genuinely think this, like the single player story holds up really, really well. You know, there's Modern Warfare 2 and sort of onwards, Call of Duty got a Michael Bay reputation. Whereas Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare felt like a good action movie. Do you know what I mean? Not like a explosion.
Oh yeah, and I think as well.
That's true. What happened was, in terms of the story, after COD 4, they said, "How are we going to make this different? We're just going to make it bigger every time."
Yeah.
Well, and they also had to have some sort of controversy that seemed to be the way forward. Yeah. Just going back to Call of Duty 4, what I think made that game so cool was some of it was locations, because they chose like Chernobyl and sort of Pripyat or whatever, and you're in a ghillie suit, and you know there was just some really cool moments in the game. But I think what did benefit that game the most was it was one of the first games I remember that had like a public beta where everyone could just suddenly jump onto this new multiplayer game, and everyone just went mental.
Yeah, well, there's another game that did that better.
Was that before it?
Yes.
Oh, there was.
It was way before it. It was probably because of the other game that they did.
Okay.
The other thing I'll say about Call of Duty 4 from my perspective is that the other game I remember playing with a persistent ranking system, shooter game with that, was Battlefield 2 Modern Combat.
But it was all in the background in Battlefield 2 Modern Combat.
It was in the background, and it was really hard to rank up. You had to do a lot of really difficult stuff to rank up. And in Call of Duty 4, it was, you tripped over the fence, you level up. All right, anything.
Yeah. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 suffers from that more, but like Call of Duty 4. Like to have leveling up system in a online multiplayer first person shooter was unknown. It was just unknown, right? In Halo you had a true rank system which went up and down. You had Battlefield which did have a ranking system, but it was really difficult, really slow, and not that intuitive, not that visible. And the really, really cool thing that Call of Duty 4 did is it made the leveling up visible, right? Really upfront, in your face, and it made it like it tapped into your senses. Like when people, the kind of art of gambling, with all the lights and the sounds. Like Duke still plays the noise to this day. That the ranking up sound just gets you. And I think for me,
I don't think that sound was in 4 though.
It might. There's probably something similar in 4, but like,
it was a sound.
But what I'm saying is, like, for me, it was stripped down enough for so you're not overwhelmed. You understood, like, okay, I've just got to level up these guns and these guns, and by the time you prestige the second, third time, you kind of knew what you were doing. And
Yeah, I was going to say the prestige thing was an interesting mechanic as well. The fact it just dropped you right back to 1 again.
Brilliant.
But people did it because he got that freaking symbol
Little
on
badge.
the gamer card.
And
now let me ask this question: did any of y'all ever get the golden skull?
No,
I didn't even get to prestige 1. I got to about level 30.
Skull was in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The golden cross was in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
No, I got like 7. I think I got to 7%.
I remember when I got that cross. I was like, yes.
No.
And I was like, all right, now Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is coming out like next week. I guess nobody even gives a shit.
But the other
by
thing,
the way, here's the level up from COD 4. I don't know if it's. I'm about to play the same thing I usually play. But, hey, it's the same thing. I guess I was wrong.
So the other cool thing was that everybody was playing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody was playing.
We don't get that anymore. Everybody's pretty divided on the consoles and on the PC. Back in 2007, everybody pretty much had a 360. If you wanted to play games online on a console, you had a 360, not a PlayStation.
Yeah, you did.
And
sure.
And it was just the perfect storm. And hopefully, thanks to Rocket League and Fortnite, we are getting to a point, believe it or not, that we can play all together. Rocket League's got there. Fortnite, I think, is getting there. So fingers crossed.
Sony have finally given in. And
they're
gone,
giving in
I
because it's fucking ridiculous. Like, if people on FIFA can just play each other, if people on Call of Duty, it just. I mean, the PC crowd is a little bit different for a first-person shooter. I get that, but like, if you buy a PlayStation, you buy an Xbox, fuck's sake, can we just play it again? Because again, we'll be back. You know, hopefully people can just play it again. Anyway, too long. I'm carrying on.
Too long.
The next game was one of the first games to really make a very, very public beta, and that game was Halo 3. That is third on my list. I mean, this is before I even started podcasting. Halo 3 is my favorite Halo. It's very close between Halo 1 and Halo 3. But Halo 3 tops it because of how hyped I was for the game. Like, I was so fucking ready for this game. And I loved it so much. And I think out of all the single-player Halo games, it's the best one. I think the online is just perfect. Halo 2 online is so close. Again, I got so much. Halo 1, 2, and 3, I hold all 3 of them very dear in my heart. But 3, I think, pipped it just because it just had everything. I was so ready for it. I was so hyped for it. It delivered. I wasn't disappointed. The multiplayer was fantastic. I spent so many hours on it. I queued up for it at night. It was just the fucking beast of a game, and I loved it so much. So that's why Halo 3 got it. I mean, Halo 1, I did get chucked out of HMV for playing it for too long with Marsh. But Halo,
I'll say about Halo 3 real quick. I don't have much to say about it because I didn't play it a lot, but it was one of the only video games I remember seeing a trailer for back in the day in a movie theater. And I remember that as soon as it came on, I was like, that's for Halo 3. And I had a friend who was crazy about Halo, so I looked over at him and I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. It was
I think Halo 3 is kind of like GTA has a bit of this, but Halo 3 is like an example of games really pushing into the adverts on the cinema, adverts on TV. And I know game TV adverts have been around for a long time, but like, without sort of like going video games, they're for kids. Like, no, this is like a movie trailer.
We're gonna try to get the attention of people in a movie theater.
Yeah, like this is like if you're watching a movie, if you're watching an action movie, like you should be playing this game. Like, it doesn't judge you. It's like, hey, kids, forget. Like, this is like the sort of real sort of turn on. I mean, we get it all the time now,
Yeah.
But like this is like. I felt like this is kind of the start of that.
The other one for me, I remember they had an ad that had the flames and Sephiroth walking out of it, and we were all like, because we had been playing it like crazy. We're like, yeah, that's our game, that's my jam.
So Halo 3 is number 3 for me. Number 2 might be controversial because it isn't probably not regarded as the best. However, it is one of my favorites. It's GTA 4.
There you go.
Oh, controversy.
Think about the predicament you in, dog, before you talk again.
The reason why I love GTA 4 so much, again, I was hyped for it a lot. I was really, really excited for it. I actually found the story in GTA 4 really, really good. I think a lot of people didn't like the sort of how drab and depressing GTA 4 is. But I think this is the new wave of Rockstar, where this is where they started to take a lot of time from you for really unnecessary shit like bowling. But I
Oh,
can,
yeah.
I
Playing darts. I remember
yeah, I
playing
mean,
darts.
it's not the perfect game, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I just thought it had a lot to say. I thought the story was interesting. It went in different ways that I didn't expect it to do, and also it was just the start of a new generation of Rockstar where. The physics in the game alone was mind blowing. They were trying new things. It pushed a lot of boundaries, and I just loved it. I spent so much time in GTA 4 that's why it's number 2.
I'll be honest though. Fucking hell! At one point in game, I wanted to smash the phone because Roman just phones you constantly.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to go for a drink and play some darts? That's all he wanted to do was just meet up and do stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. That phone constantly rang and was text messages and stuff. They went mental with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like they started with that in San Andreas, like social calls and stuff. You had a girlfriend in San Andreas, and
Right, hot copy mod, baby. Wow, wow, wow.
they still do that now in Red Dead Redemption. Relationships and going on unnecessary missions to kind of build relationships. There's a lot of that in Red Dead 2. Stranger missions in Red Dead 1. Stranger missions in GTA 5. They never went away with it. GTA 4 was the kind of their first shot at it. Do you know what I mean? Their first go at it.
The biggest criticism I had was just the checkpoint system was terrible.
They improved it by the gay Tony, though.
Oh, yeah, they did. No, I'm not disagreeing with you there, but I never finished the game just because of the checkpoint system, because I got to a mission that I must have tried to do, and it was so long. And the amount of times I must have got close to the end of the mission and got killed and had to do it, go right back to the beginning again. I was just like, that's it, I'm
I
done.
wouldn't recommend you playing the old GTAs then, because
No.
they don't hold back.
And there were long missions. It's not like it was a little short mission that didn't matter that much. They were freaking long.
Okay, right, I'm moving on. Anyway, number 1 on my list, of course, because we included 2010.
Yeah.
It has to be Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption
totally
is
agree.
one of my favorite games in the world, and it doesn't not just of this decade, in the world, and I absolutely love it. It's up there. So sorry, Mass Effect. Sorry, Max Payne. Sorry, Bully, Portal, but Red Dead.
Yeah, it's on my honourable mentions, but doesn't make it into my list.
Wow. All right, so that's
well,
me
that's
done.
because, right? Is that
So
you? Who's going next?
You're talking, Stu. So you carry on.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, right? Because the way I've done my games is the ones I had the most fun with.
That's fair.
So,
You do you.
Yeah, I'd had the most fun with, or put the most hours into.
Yeah.
So I've sort of gone that way.
Let's start with your
so
honourable mentions then, Stu.
I've got loads of them. So I'll just
what
quickly
did
run
I say
through
at the
that.
start of the fucking thing?
I'm not going to talk about them. Just say them.
Just
okay.
Just say them.
So honourable mentions: Res, Left 4 Dead, Mass Effect 2, Half-Life 2, Max Payne, Portal, BioShock, Gears of War, Uncharted 2, and Red Dead Redemption. They're my honourable mentions. So lots of them. Lots of them, and all great games, all really good games.
Yeah.
But let's start with my number 5, and my number 5 is Flower.
Wow.
Shut up.
Wow.
I don't judge you. You don't judge me, okay?
I'm trying not to judge you, but like best of the decade.
That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
it's not, though. It's not. And I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you for why.
It's his list.
Because
It's his list.
My fucking list. I can have what I want on my fucking list.
This is
I
dumb.
don't judge you.
I hate your list.
Shut up.
Judge all you want. I don't care if you judge me.
So, Flower. And the reason I put Flower on there is because I just love this game. I loved it. The first time I played it, I'm like, this is the best non-game game I've ever played.
It is a non-game. We agree on that.
Exactly. And it was, I'll be honest, it was kind of the start of my WoS journey in a way.
It is start of your WoS
You know what's
journey.
funny though? I really shouldn't give you stick for that because in a way, Night Sky owes a debt of gratitude to Flower because they're both very tranquil games. There are obviously objectives in Flower. I take the bollocks out of it, but I shouldn't, I guess.
Flower is responsible for my hating WoS games journey because I played Flower. I just heard so much about it. Do you know what I mean? I heard like people, oh my god, it's this track. I was like, hey, I'll try it, and I was just like, that. I remember finishing it and going, that was fucking shit. Like I was so angry when I finished it.
But I think what you've got to understand is at that time you had shooters, third-person shooters, first-person shooters, you know, open world exploration stuff like GTA and things like that. Flower came along, it was like nothing else. You know, the physics were great. It looked amazing. The sound was tranquil. It was totally
It was like
chill.
nothing else. But to be fair, Myst did the whole you don't have to be killing people to have an
Yeah,
engagement.
but Myst was an adventure game. Myst was a puzzle adventure game. Flower's not that at all.
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not-
Flower isn't. Yeah, kind of. It depends how you look at it, I
I think
guess.
Flower, like to its credit, was the wave of like it shows an audience that you don't have to be shooting everybody. And you know, I think like games like Gone Home probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Flower and stuff like that. Where
Exactly.
I think Gone Home owes more to Myst than it does to Flower.
I think when I think the trend of like games like walking simulators are probably more inspired by more like obviously Myst takes a part in it, right? But it's all about what's popular now and phases and what influences you now. And I feel like, you know, whatever's in the zeitgeist, and I think Flower probably had some more influences on walking simulators than maybe Myst did, because Myst was very like gameplay puzzle heavy.
Yeah, it was. Myst is a story-driven puzzle game. It's not a Flower, because a Flower is so much more abstract than that.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is because, yes, Flower was like nothing we'd seen before, but whatever. I'm picking nits. I'm just trying to stand up for Myst's good name.
Not everything's about Mystic.
Yeah,
and let's be honest, Duke. If we're really going to talk about walking simulators, one of your very favourite games, Dear Esther, was probably the beginning of the walking simulator.
yes, it
you
was.
know.
Sucks ass. I just
Yeah.
looked on Home since you said that, Chinny, and they said one of the major developers likened the idea to a non-combative System Shock game. So
Yeah.
that seems to have had a lot of influence. Go figure.
So anyway, Flower's my number 5. Right, number 4. Here we go. Number 4 is Animal Crossing on the DS.
Yeah.
You know,
I love this game because without this, there would have been no Stardew Valley. So yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing about Animal Crossing is just the sheer amount of hours. I don't even know how many. It must have been that million I put into this game together combined. And it was the first real father-daughter gaming experience we had together, because we played it so much. And obviously, because I'd never been a Nintendo fanboy prior to that, I never owned any Nintendo console. I'd never, I'd never come across this game before. And it's totally unique, even by today's standards. It's just such a weird game. You know, it's like we've said many times, it's a mortgage payment simulator. That's pretty much the game. You get into debt.
But not in a tedious way, the way The Sims was. When I first played The Sims, I was like, oh, God, going to work, paying bills. Ugh. But I feel like I haven't played Animal Crossing, but I get the sense that it's not tedious in that sense.
Oh, God, no, it's fun, but it is repetitive. But it did such a great job of setting your goals to attain. You know, like collect all the bugs, find all the, the butterflies, catch all the fish, find all the fossils, collect all the seashell, there was just so much stuff. And then obviously when you had enough money, you go and get new furniture, have your house extended and get into more debt that you have to then pay off. It was just such a brilliant game. I just love it. Animal Crossing, it totally makes it.
Would you play it on the Switch?
Do you know? It's weirdly, I played it on the Wii U. And the Wii U, was it the Wii U or the Wii version? It was either the Wii or the Wii U version. Go to the City, Animal Crossing Go to the City or something it was called.
I'm not sure.
But I don't know. I think it was just a game in a moment for me. And since I'm playing it since, and I think I had the 3DS version as well, I just never really got into it the same way that I did back then with Millie. It was kind of that. It was just a moment.
You can fight as the main character in Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah, no, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, Animal Crossing, I love.
Maybe you'll try that. You should be open to the Switch version because it's a handheld device.
Oh yeah.
You'll be bored of Bayonetta 3 in like a few hours.
Probably will. No, I reckon I'll probably be more interested in playing Golf Story, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think I'd definitely be more interested in that. Okay, let's go to number 3.
Number 3.
And my number 3 is Crackdown.
Yeah.
Again, look, right. Story was shit. Graphically, it was interesting because it was like a cel-shaded style that looked really cool. But for me, this game was literally all about the gameplay and just the crazy shit you could do. And what always amazed me with this game was how many people bought it just to, as you mentioned the Halo 3 beta earlier, how many people bought this game just to do that and never played the game.
I kind of think that was a myth.
I don't think it was. I think a lot of
people... I feel like a lot of people played the game.
Well, how do we know? We can't know one way or another.
No.
I don't know. There was a lot of talk.
I just think everybody said, like, when I say everybody, I think you say that a lot, Stu.
There's a lot of talk about people, Hillary Clinton running a pedophile ring out of a pizza place.
Is that true?
People say it is, but it's not true.
But yeah, Crackdown.
Talk about something doesn't make it true.
It wasn't a pizza place. It was a hot dog joint.
And apart from Gears of War, it was the first sort of co-op game that I played so much with different people off the community. We played it like so many times. Gears of War I must have started and finished over half a dozen times, you know what I mean, with different people.
Oh, yeah.
And Crackdown was the same because it was such a short game. It didn't take that long to to start and finish it.
And the campaign was just blow everything up.
Yeah, it was just level up, see how big you can get your character, see how stupid your car is when you can drive up a building.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think that made it stand out for me, especially at the time, apart from a lot of other games, was the achievements that they put in there.
The achievements and the leveling up and the orbs,
yeah, but also,
the orbs, man.
The orbs, the agility orbs, and the hidden orbs. I never got all the hidden orbs, but I got all of the agility orbs.
Yeah.
Little fluffy clouds. Little clouds. Get it, orb?
I get it. But what I think they also did at the time, a lot of achievements were just like, finish this level, do this, do that. Whereas Crackdown had the body juggler, which was keep a person in the earth for 20 seconds or something ridiculous. And then there was car juggler, which was same, or it was like, there was a car one where you had to jump like 500 feet or something ridiculous. And there were so many crazy achievements. So I used to look at the achievement list and go, right, what do I need to do to do that one? Because that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only game I've ever done that with.
Yeah.
Where I've actually gone for actual achievements just because it was so like crazy to do.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a game that's focused entirely on gameplay, is that that makes that more likely, because you then say, oh, that might be fun to give that a shot and doable.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, even getting up to the top of the tower in the middle of the map, that was almost like a puzzle in itself. And you had to have your agility, to get up the agency tower. You had to have the right amount of agility before you could do it. So it wasn't just a thing you could just go and do. You had to, like, level up, and like in Spider-Man, talking a more recent game, you could go up to the top of anything on the map straight away. It was not a problem.
Well, yeah, but you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're Spider-Man. Whereas in Crackdown, you had to level up enough.
Yep.
To get up there, which was amazing. And the first time you get to the top of that tower, you got an achievement for getting to the top, and then you got an achievement for jumping off and surviving.
You had to jump in the water, yeah.
You had to jump in the water, and I remember sort of standing on the top and trying to figure out which direction you need to jump in, so you didn't hit anything on the way
I remember
down.
jumping off that tower and getting a little bit, like, sick from it. Like, when I jumped off, I went, oh, God, I remember that. That was such a weird feeling.
Yeah. And nervous. I remember being totally nervous that I was going to get it wrong, because it had taken me that long to get to the top.
Like 10 minutes to get up there. Like, oh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, if I cut this up now, and I didn't. I remember landing in the water going, and like having this massive sense of relief, and then the achievement thing came off, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Just such a cool game. Anyway, moving on.
That's the end of Crackdown. Are you excited about Crackdown 3? No.
No, couldn't give a shit.
Right.
Right, next game on my list. Right, this was a toss-up between 1 and 2.
Okay.
And you can vomit as much as you like, Jude, but number 2 is Deadly Premonition.
What the fuck?
But see, I never played Deadly Premonition, so I don't have the same visceral hatred of it.
Shut up.
What the fuck, Stu?
What? I love this.
It's like
game.
nothing else we've ever seen, Chinny.
No, it's like a lot of things we've seen, but it just
fuck. Like,
in such a
I am
ridiculous way.
like, The
Furious.
top 5 games of the fucking.
It's number 2,
Chinny,
man.
you know what he's saying? Not only is this one of his favorite games, he's saying he had more fun playing this than he did playing Red Dead Redemption.
That's.
But I did.
Oh my
I
god.
did have more
Think
fun
about
playing.
what that
Oh
is
my
saying to you,
God.
Chinny.
Oh my
He might as well be
god.
stabbing you in the face right now.
I think I might cry.
I love this game so much, though.
You have
was
to love
just-
it in part because it tortures us that you love it.
I know. I think it's because it was so left field, and it just continued my obsession with WOS games, and things that were just completely out there.
Would here's a question for the listeners, for our listeners. Would our listeners enjoy highlights video of me playing this game?
I think
Is
they'd
that
love
content that people want to see?
that'd be
Do you want to
brilliant.
put me through fucking 50 hours of
Yes,
this shit
in
game?
the same way they want to watch me play Detroit Become Human.
To be honest, though, I really do want to watch you play that game.
Well, there you go. People want
Yeah,
to
we
see
do.
you play this Deadly Premonition shit.
And I have got the director's cut on my Steam list, so you're good to go.
You don't even have to pay him money.
Wow.
You don't even have to pay anything to do it.
Wow. Paul J in the
It's-
chat says, Deadly Premonition, this show needs a new host. Thank you, Paul J.
Yup.
Do you know what? Fuck off. It's my list, and I'll have what I want on it.
You leave
but
Paul
Deadly-
alone, Stu.
Yeah, I will do. But Deadly Premonition, right? For me, I just loved the story. It was just so ridiculous, and the mechanics were horrible. Some of the mechanics going upstairs was a chore. Because as soon as you got onto stairs,
That makes sense that it's on your games of the decade, man. Because going upstairs was a chore.
it was a complete
with
chore. You're going up
trying
the
to
stairs.
You're talking about how hard it is to climb the stairs.
Yeah, because as soon as you got onto a landing, it went into tank movement mode. So it was like you had to spin him and then send him off in the right direction. It was terrible, terrible.
By the way,
Right?
listeners, in case you're wondering, no, this isn't like the Room situation. This isn't Stu being like, this game is so bad, it's good. Stu actually likes this game for real. It's not
I
being
do like
ironic.
this game for real. And I'll tell you why, right? As much as there was stuff that was just truly awful.
All of it.
No, there was stuff that was really, really good and like just crazy. Like the fact that the map was like a real size map. If you broke down,
When it's Red Dead 2, he's complaining endlessly. When it's Deadly Premonition shit, he's like, oh, it's an amazing big map.
oh no, but the majority of the missions were close to each other, so you never really had to. But sometimes
So
you had to
you
drive out of
you
town.
didn't have to go around.
But God forbid you forgot to fill your car up with petrol on the way out of town, because shit, if you broke down in the middle of nowhere and ran out of petrol, it took like an hour to walk back into town. It was like real life, and like days days lasted about 8 hours, like a day-night cycle in
See,
the
the
game.
thing about games is they don't do that,
crazy.
Stu. Not because they can't, it's because it's boring as fuck.
But it wasn't, because it wasn't a problem, because you were doing stuff. But what I hadn't realised, right, and I'd played the game for like hours before I realised you could smoke a cigarette to make the time go quicker. So if you smoked a cigarette, you'd make the time go quicker. But there was other crazy stuff in the game. Like, for instance, you could buy a fishing rod from the local shop, and when you went fishing, you would catch ammo and stuff like health stuff, for your
Game
even.
of the decade. You can catch ammo when you go fishing. Game of the
Ammo.
decade. Listen to
Um,
yourself.
I know, it sounds wrong, but it's true. But what made this game so good was the story. The story was just completely bonkers, but so cool at the same time. And it was a real cool murder mystery, and the characters were really well written. As crazy as they were, they were just cool. It's just my favorite crazy game ever. I don't know. I just have such a. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last bit of that game, I could have thrown my fucking console through the telly. Game of the year, but I got there. Because there was no way I wasn't finishing it. But the thing they put in at the end was just the most ridiculous thing ever, and it's like, what the hell were they thinking? But you know what? I finished that game, and I still love it now for all its faults. I have an affinity. Right, let's get on to my favorite game of the decade.
Yes.
And my favorite game of the decade was Oblivion.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm redeeming myself here.
Do you have to go in 5 minutes, Dick? Is that right?
No. 1 more hour.
Oh God, we're fine then.
Oh my God.
I thought you meant like 5 minutes. Yeah, Oblivion,
Sorry,
and
that's confusing. My bad.
You were confusing, right? The reason I love Oblivion so much is my wife, has only ever bought me 2 gaming-related things in our whole marriage. My wife. One was the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. She bought me that for our first wedding anniversary, which was amazing. I was like, oh my God, you bought me a Game Boy. And the second thing she bought me was Oblivion for my birthday, the year this came out. And I put it on, and I remember putting this game on, and I stuck it in the 360, and I'm like, it's going to be amazing. Everyone said it's brilliant. And I played it for about an hour, and I went, what the fuck is this shit? And I remember, no, it's true. This is a true story. And I
wasn't
it out.
Not believing you.
I know. I took it out, put it back in the case, and then I didn't touch it again for 6 months. And I never played it. And
sorry, when you did that first run through, when you first started playing it, did you get out of the prison?
I did, yeah. I got out into the open world, right?
As soon as you see the open world, I was just like, that's it, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. Amazing, except
you're out.
I had no clue what the hell I was supposed to do. I'd never played an RPG before.
You had never played an RPG, because that's my question. Like, that's the thing, is I felt like every RPG I'd ever played in my life, it drags you. You start off usually in a village, and it's like, kill rats in my basement. Okay, fine. This game, you start off in the middle of the world, and you can do whatever you want. And I didn't know what to do about that, but I knew if I went toward a town, I would find someone who wants me to kill rats in their basement. And I did.
And I had no clue what I was doing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was totally overwhelmed by it all. And I was like, nah, don't know. So anyway, I put it down.
What is it with rats in a bar? In Red Dead Redemption 2, you have to kill rats in a fucking bar as well.
It's become such a stereotype at this point. I think a lot of game developers are like, hey, watch this. I'm going to put rats in a basement.
So anyway, I did that and put it away and forgot all about it. And Kay's like, you're not playing that game, my boy. I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to it.
Kay.
I know, yeah. So I couldn't tell her.
A good game, Jesus.
I know, yeah, Jesus, what is this? And then I got talking to Feng Chewy, who absolutely loved Oblivion on the PC, so much so he'd printed out the map on his wall in his like man cave, and I'd put all these different coloured markers on it for different stuff in the game.
Wow.
All over it. Right. So I was like, right, what is all this stuff? So he basically taught me how to play the game. So I went through how you use your inventory. I know, yeah. How you do magic, how you do this, how you do that, what you need to be doing, where you need to go, what missions to do. Went through all that stuff with me, and so I went back, started playing it again, totally got what the hell I was supposed to be doing. And the rest is history, I guess. And I must have put in over 150 hours, including the Shivering Isles.
That's funny, because your story there is very similar to Simeon. You know my brother-in-law, Simeon?
Right, yeah.
I told him about a game called Fallout 3 and said, Sim, this game's brilliant. Oh my God, it's brilliant. And Simeon plays games. He's not like, he doesn't play them every day, but he plays games. And he was asking me a bit, I showed him Bioshock, and he loved Bioshock, right? I was like, you should try Fallout 3. He played it, and then I saw him again like a few months later. He's like, couldn't get on with Fallout 3. I was like, what? I couldn't get on with it. And I forget, Fallout 3 was probably similar to you with Oblivion, Stu, probably the first RPG I ever played.
Yeah.
Maybe Mass Effect was just before Fallout 3, but it was early on, and you forget how weird a game it is before you play it. So I sat down with Simeon and I said, so the game isn't. I think he was expecting like Bioshock, right? And I was like, the game isn't like that. It's a lot more different. It's a lot slower. It's a lot bigger. And I just talked him through it. I showed him the VATs and all that, and he went, okay. 3 months later, he went, probably the best game he's ever played.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing about Fallout is, and Mass Effect is a similar thing, you think it's a shooter because of the way it's presented to you, but it's not. Then neither of those games are shooters, although they feel like they should be.
The thing that I never liked, that I didn't get, and I suppose I've been spoilt with GTA, is in Fallout, when you do the 10-penny tower, Duke?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So you do the 10-penny tower, and you blow up Megaton. And in GTA, 10-penny would have another quest for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Tenpenny would be like, okay,
Yeah,
now that you've
that's
done
true.
that,
Yeah.
we'll do some other shit, right?
Yeah.
And I remember playing Fallout 3, blowing up the tower. I went, yo, Tenpenny, I blew up a whole tower. I murdered children for you. What we're gonna do next? And he's like, hey.
I'm gonna shoot people from my balcony.
And I'm just like, oh, is that it? Like,
and because they hadn't planned on having an evil. First of all, they don't tend to do, person in charge of this area that will give you a lot of quests. That's not a Bethesda thing.
No,
it is a Rockstar thing. But in New Vegas, of course, Caesar kind of does that.
Yeah.
Right. He kind of is that Tenpenny who has a lot of quests for you.
That's true.
Because you align yourself with him.
Yeah, this isn't.
and
We're not. I don't know why we're talking about the Fallout 3. Stu, carry on with Oblivion. I don't know why.
I don't think there's a lot more to say about it. I think it just totally sucked me in.
I've never played Oblivion actually. I never played Oblivion.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, it's hard to go back to that.
I remember Marshy playing it. I watched Marshy play it, and I was like, nah, I don't think it's me.
The thing that we got to say about Oblivion is that it had really good quests. Skyrim is wonderful and magnificent. If I could talk about it, I would, but it came out in 2011. The problem with Skyrim is that the quests are very samey, which is fine. I don't really mind that, but the quests in Oblivion are very creative. There's where you keep bumping into what you think it's a bug. You think there's a problem, a glitch in the game because you keep like bumping into people and hearing voices, but like there's no one there, obviously. But you come to find out everybody's been turned invisible, and you have to figure out why and help them out.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's some cool, and there's one where you have to go in a painting, which was
great quest. There's one where someone says, this thief took my ring, and you have to track it down. It's down a well. You go to get it. It's a ring of like 100,000 weight, and you can't get out of the water. You're drowning. And I don't remember exactly how you deal with that, but it's very
well. The race I played could breathe underwater, so that was kind of useful.
Yeah, exactly. That was handy to have that. There's where there's a bunch of kobolds menacing a village, and you go and kill them all, and then you realize, oh my God, there's some sort of drug in the air or something, and you've killed a bunch of people, and it's like, oh my God. So the quest design in this game was really good. They really did a good job.
It was a really cool game, and I broke the game completely though, because I made, when I was a master mage, I made all my armor have invisibility on it, and I was completely invisible, so I could literally just run around the game just doing whatever the hell I wanted, and nobody could touch me.
And you had the skeleton key.
And I had the skeleton key, which helped a lot as well. That was the unbreakable, which was just ridiculous. So there were a couple of things you could do in the game that made it a much less of a challenge. But to get to the level you needed to be to make all that invisible armor, you had to have played a lot of the game to get to that stage where it was possible anyway. But yeah, great game. I just loved it. Just loved the game. And even like the Shivering Isles, one of the first quests you do in the Shivering Isles, you're tasked with killing off these explorers who are exploring this cave to try and find treasure, and you're setting all these booby traps for them. It just had so many cool quests to do.
Yeah,
really, really good. So anyway, that's my top 5. So over to you, Duke.
Okay, so enough of that. Talking about Bethesda. Moving on. I'm gonna go in reverse chronological order because I can't rank these; they're too awesome.
Okay.
And so instead, we'll go reverse chronological order. And my first, the latest game on the list is Fallout 3.
Yay!
I get it. I said no more Bethesda. Fallout 3 was a game changer for me in a way that Oblivion wasn't, because Oblivion's wonderful. It's a huge open world. It was a game changer in many ways, but at its core, it's still an RPG. And that's true about Fallout 3 as well, which is why some people have a hard time getting on with it. But it's different from other RPGs because it requires, first of all, you start off as a baby, right? That's remarkable.
That's right.
That's something I don't think I had never seen that in a game, I don't think.
Mm.
And it brought me into the world in a way that even Oblivion didn't. So that was something. And then, of course, VATS. I've said this before. I'll say it again. VATS changed everything for me because I played a lot of games before this, role-playing games that were turn-based combat, which is great. because there's no pressure involved. I'd never before this really been into action RPGs. I'd played Diablo and Diablo 2, and those are great games, but there was always a sense of tension that I didn't love about those games. And so when this game came out, it just VATS is the perfect combination of action and turn-based combat. So I think that's an amazing thing about Fallout 3. I think the story's decent. It's not great because Bethesda, you know, some of the stories in this game are great, right? The option to blow up Megaton or, you know, not is a good story. I think that the Brotherhood of Steel is an interesting group of people because they're kind of the villains in a lot of ways in other games. They're boring as hell. So the fact that you have to align yourself with them in this game is kind of dull, but you know, you get to see these other groups of people that are interesting. And I think they did a much better job with the world and the characters in New Vegas, but I will still give this one the nod. I don't know when New Vegas came out. It may even be after the decade.
2010.
Okay. Well, anyway, I still, you know, Fallout 3 did so many things beautifully, and it changed the way I think about a lot of games. That I love it so much. Fallout 3, yay! And I'm a fanboy till I die. So what do you want? Deal with it.
So what's next? Skyrim?
No, Skyrim came out in
2011.
Oh, just not quite soon enough.
Late. There were two games so that was 2008. There were two games that came out in 2005 that are on my list, and I will start.
I
with
know
the
one.
Alluded to before. What?
I think I know one.
What? Say it.
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries, Playground Destruction. That's not the one I was going to talk about, but since you guessed it correctly, I will reward your correct guess and talk about that. Speaking of open worlds, when did Oblivion come out?
2006.
I think it was 6. Yeah, 6.
So this came out before that, which means this is one of the first open world games I can remember playing.
You never played GTA 3?
I didn't play GTA 3. The first GTA. No, I never played GTA 3. So, okay, fair enough, because there is a GTA game that I do have on this list that came out before this. But anyway, the point is that this was a game where the world. I mean, okay. So the other game I'm going to talk about later is San Andreas. What makes this world? It feels more vast, and I think that's because. I don't really know why. Maybe it's probably not fair. Now that I think about it, I don't think it's fair to talk about this game being more vast than GTA San Andreas because they both have pretty big maps. So whatever. The point is that this game, Playground of Destruction, is a really good description for this game because you had RPGs, you had rockets on their choppers, and you could destroy all the buildings. It was so satisfying to run around and like you're in South Korea, or you're in the DMZ basically between North and South Korea, and you could go to a North Korean post and just like take the whole post down. And I had never seen a game with that. There had been games I think with destructible stuff, but this really did some amazing things in that regard.
Spoke to you.
It spoke to me, yeah. And you could pick between 3 characters. There was a South Korean woman, there was a black guy, and there was a blonde dude with a mohawk. And I don't know. I felt like a badass when I played this game. I really felt like a badass in a way that I had never really felt, certainly not in a military game.
Yeah.
So,
I never really played the first one. I played the second one. I never played the first one.
The second one was such a letdown. I remember when the second one was coming out, and I was so excited because I loved the first one so much, and then the second one came out, and I was just like, ugh, this is garbage. And it wasn't probably not a terrible game, but it didn't come close to this game in terms of its beauty and magnificence. So yeah, I should say, by the way, I didn't mention honorable mentions: Portal, Red Dead Redemption, Left 4 Dead, and Battlefield 2: Modern Combat, which was a console-only game. That was a great game. I loved that one. That was real close in terms of making it to the list. But anyway, so Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, awesome, totally awesome. And then the same year, I referenced a multiplayer game before when we were talking about Call of Duty, but I have to tell you, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original from 2005, because there is now another Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, but not the most recent one. This was original back in the day from Pandemic Studios.
Yeah.
which they made a bunch of good games back in the day. This game was the first game I think I ever played online, and it blew my brain apart. It was totally awesome.
Did you play the first one?
What's that? I did play the first one. I never played the first one online.
No.
I remember playing a lot of the Galactic Conquest in the first.
Yeah, I played a lot of that.
But and the second one came out soon after the first. Like there wasn't a huge gap between these two games.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know the way that it worked, it was control points, which was great because there had been Unreal Tournament and some other games, shooters online, but I couldn't really get into them for whatever reason. And so the fact that this was control points really captured my interest. And I remember I found this group of people, the room, they had you could make your own server. And this one group of people, they called themselves 420. Dude, 420, dude. And they were just cool guys.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to, one of them was named Mike EMT or something.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Yeah. He worked at the fire department. And when we were in Florida one time, it turns out he lived in Florida where my mom and my brother live. And we went down for a visit one time, and I went to see him. I was like, hey, let's hang out, let's have dinner. And he was really nice. And it was it was cool to be able to meet people in real life that I had met on the game.
Yeah.
And the shooting was slick. The second one also introduced these rocket troopers.
Yeah.
That were very hard to control.
Wasn't the second one the introduction of heroes as well?
I think so, yeah. I never got into the heroes for whatever reason.
Luke Skywalker has entered the map, which the modern Battlefronts did as well.
Which was cool. But the problem with that for me was I always got so nervous because I was bad with the heroes, and other people just slaughter everyone. So as soon as I got the hero, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna be a laughing stock.
The similar feeling, that more modern feeling, is when you were the tank in Left 4 Dead. When you finally got to be the tank, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm the tank, I have to do stuff.
You know what? I actually feel like I did all right with the tank. For whatever reason, I didn't get that same nervousness. But it is that adrenaline rush when it's like, oh boy, I get to do this thing.
Yeah.
So Battlefield 2, really good game. Graphics were solid at the time. It fluid. It worked really well, Yeah. So
Battlefront
big
2.
thumbs up on that one. Moving backwards another year. I mentioned there's a GTA game, San Andreas. I wrote a big long piece. If anybody hasn't read my love letter to San Andreas, go to theveterangamers.co.uk, and I've got this whole long piece I wrote. The music in this game was especially great because it captured, it's set in the 90s, and that's when the golden age of hip hop, so to speak, was. And it had a gang warfare mode, which I really loved because he was all about taking over parts of the map.
Everybody hated that.
I know, which I don't get because I really like that. They never did it again.
No.
It was kind of racist. Let's be honest. There was a mission where your buddy was eating fried chicken while you did drive-by shootings.
First hour as well. That mission.
Yeah, kind of racist. But it is ultimately a story about someone trying to protect his neighborhood from other gangs and from corrupt police officers. So, I'm not going to say it's like morally redeeming, but I will say this. As I mentioned in the article that I wrote, there was a deleted scene. They did Rockstar did this prequel, before the game begins, series of cutscenes, basically, a little movie type thing. And they released it online, I guess, or something. But anyway, it has a scene in it that's very interesting because there's a character in the game named OG Loke, who's like, I want to be the next gangster rapper. And he sucks at rapping, and he's just the most ridiculous character ever. But at the beginning, in this prequel movie thing that they made, the two main characters say, dude, Jeffrey, because his real name is Jeffrey. They go, Jeffrey, look, me and CJ, we're fucked up in the game here, man. You need to go to school. You need to find another path. You have options, dude. And of course, the guy's not listening to you. As Wu-Tang Clan said, Shorty's running around smoking cess, drinking beer, and ain't trying to hear what I'm kicking in his ear. And that's Jeffrey in this game. But, this game does so many things so well. How do you haven't talked a lot about this game, Chinny. You talk about 4 and 3 a lot. What's your take on San Andreas?
My take on San Andreas is, I suppose, I kind of missed it a bit. I remember when it came out, it was 2004, I was more interested in going out than playing video games. Like, so this kind of came out in the period where I was a young man. I was
Have you ever been a young man? What's going on?
Shut up. I'm younger than you two fucks. So I was 19 when this game came out. I remember it coming out. I remember the weekend or the week it came out. I remember it being talked about on the radio. And I remember thinking, like, yeah, I'll get that eventually. Marsh has always been pretty consistent with video games. Like, he always, like, his passion for video games hasn't changed, but it hasn't heightened or lowered. Do you know what I mean? Like, Marsh has always, like, played games when they come out. He never procrastinates. He just, hey, game's out, playing it, and finishes it. Like, he just always done that. And he did that. So I lived a lot of my gaming, like, fixed through Marsh in those days, because I would go around Marsh's house, I would watch him play, you know, even up to Oblivion. Like, I watched him play Oblivion, but we played a lot of San Andreas around his house, and I watched him play a lot of San Andreas through him, and I sort of got my fix through that. And then I got my Xbox, and they released San Andreas for the Xbox as a kind of like a remastered version, I think, and I played it through that. And I liked it. I really liked it. This is the one thing about San Andreas. There's only 2 GTA games I've never finished, and San Andreas is one of them.
Really interesting. Because I was gonna say, one of the things about this game is that I had to use a cheat code to finish it, because final mission is just insanely long and really, really, really difficult.
So they released it for the.
Don't tell me, but there's no checkpoints.
I think there actually are, but even with the checkpoints, it became like, I remember doing it for like an hour and being like, you know what? I'm so frustrated. I don't care. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm going to put a cheat code on.
They released it for the 360, and I think I can still play that version on the 360 on my Xbox One. Like I
know they keep releasing it on like Steam. I know I bought it like times. So.
No, I've got it on Steam, and I've got it on my PlayStation as well. I've got them all, but and I will play them. I think I'll stream them at some point.
There's also a mission early on where you're on a motorbike and you have to chase a train.
Yeah.
And that mission drove me nuts.
Yeah, no one likes that
it's
train.
Really hard as well. And every time you mess up, it's one thing in a game to mess up and then you're mad at yourself, right? But in that game, Big Smoke, that's the guy.
Big Smoke.
He's right with you. And he does nothing. He's shooting at the train, but he does nothing. I don't know. You're shooting at a train, like whatever. The point is, every time you mess up, he goes, "Damn it, CJ! All you had to do was stay level with the train." And you're just like, "Shut up, Big Smoke! I don't need you giving me shit now that I've." Anyway, moving on.
My favorite thing about the remake on the 360 is that it's in widescreen, but the game didn't release in widescreen, right?
Right.
So the game released in 4:3. So what happens is Rockstar only animated the characters to be seen in 4:3. So when they add the widescreen, you would see the characters stop animating on the edges of the screen. So like they would walk off and then freeze and float away.
For the record, I just thought of an honorable mention. I can't believe I didn't think of this. Simpsons Skateboarding. I really like that game, but it's funny when you go to look it up, because I had to check what year, 2002. The first video that comes up is Simpsons Skateboarding, the worst video game ever made.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Not everybody loved it. And my final game, the last in no particular order. Of course, you guys can probably guess.
Ico.
Ico, yes.
I had to think for a second there, but
I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. No.
Ico.
God, this game, I think. Okay, so this and Myst. I talk about this and Myst a lot because they're both great puzzle games. But the other thing that's important about them, and this is true about Portal as well, but I think even more so in Ico, is that the castle where the game takes place is such an interesting character.
Yeah.
It really is a fascinating little, it's a living thing, and the shadow monsters sort of come out of the stone. And the book, Echoes of the Mist or something like that, is interesting. It's not great, it's not wonderful, but it's, whatever. The game starts with you as this kid born with horns, left to die in this castle. And basically you have to get out, but on your way trying to get out, you discover this little girl who is in a cage, and you instantly have a bond with her, but you can't talk to her because she speaks some other language. And the whole game, you don't really, there's not a lot of dialogue. Mostly it's solving puzzles, and the sense of atmosphere is so good. The mechanics are good. Like I played the remaster recently, and it's hard because the camera's always shifting and you can't control it, and we hadn't gotten to the point where they really knew how to make these games yet. But that said, the relationship between this boy and this girl is so good. She is kind of dead weight. The whole game is one big escort mission. Let's not kid ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But she's got power. She's got some agency. She is, and they're so cute together because it's not sexual. They're not in love. They're just friends, and they're trying to escape. And
they hold hands a lot.
Oh.
They hold hands a lot, and the end of the game made me cry. Legit.
I think what impresses me about this game is the animation. It's so well done.
Well done. It is when you consider the time it came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Amazing game maker. I must admit, Shadow of the Colossus nearly made it onto my honourable mentions.
Yeah, one of these days I'll have to play that game because people won't shut up about it. And it's so weird to me that especially Reddit loves Shadow of the Colossus.
Such a good game.
Talk about best games ever, and somebody doesn't start in, and everybody piles on. Oh my god! And it's just amazing to me that Eco never comes up in those discussions, because I'll take your word for it. The Shadow of the Colossus is great, but Eco is also great. I think it was probably a lot more limited in terms of how it got around. Because I remember when the reason I first bought Eco was because in the Communist Game Shop, they had it for sale for like $30. And every other PS2 game was like 10. So I'm like, what makes that game so special? And I looked at it and, okay, adventure game, whatever, you're going to help the girl get out. But then when I got it, I'm like, oh, I get it. So the rarity of it, I think, a lot of people don't know.
Mind you, to be fair, that Communist Game Store's been around a long time.
It has been around a long time.
Hasn't it?
Jeez. They're still around, to be honest.
I know.
That's communism for you. Whatever.
Right. Well, that's us. So I guess we should get on to emails and what other people's favourite games. That's what we've got to find out.
Whoa, that ruled.
Okay, here we go. There's a lot of them. We're going to start off with Jonathan Wilson, otherwise known as John Mouse.
John Mouse.
And yeah, I don't think he understood the question.
Okay.
Whatever, he's busy grading papers. Teacher solidarity, what?
Because none of his games came out before 2010. They're all after that.
Oh.
And his top 5 are FIFA 15, FIFA 16, FIFA 17, FIFA 18, and FIFA 19.
He probably meant FIFA 6, FIFA 7, FIFA 8, FIFA 9, FIFA 10.
Yeah, that would have been better.
I think what he's doing is he's telling a funny.
He is telling a funny.
And we get it. Thank you. That's a funny joke.
Yeah, thanks, John. Okay, a more serious one now. This is from Brian Tomlinson. And here we go. Perfect Dark. It's good. Good game. GTA San Andreas, same as you do.
Hello, which Perfect Dark?
The original Perfect Dark
on
the.
And by the way, sorry, I forgot to say
it's on the Xbox, original Xbox.
I have to say this for San Andreas. Grove Street is the street you represent in that game. It's all about being a member of this gang, this set from Grove Street, and the school that I now teach at is on Grove Street for real. So I actually represent Grove Street now.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, Nintendo 64. It was on.
Yeah,
Perfect
with the
Dark.
expansion pack.
There you go. So that's his, and then we carry on. He's got GTA San Andreas, as I said, Red Dead Redemption, Super Mario Galaxy 2, and GTA 4. So there you go. That's Brian's.
Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yep.
Damn.
Did that come out before 2010? Is that right?
That's 2010. That's in 2010.
So that's fine.
So that's fine,
good.
but I just never played Galaxy 2. But I you know what? Free money, Nintendo. Release them on the Switch.
That's right. They never do. They don't. They
Come
give you
on.
a shit from the donkeys ago. Anyway, he says, keep up the excellent podcast work, guys. Brian. So thanks for that, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Next one's from Colm Sheridan.
Good old Colm.
good old Colm. And he says this. Hi, gentlemen. Top
Hello.
5. Number 5. Gears of War. Man, that official trailer for the first game blew me away.
Yes, it's true. It's true. You're right,
It's
Colm.
totally true. Number 4, Halo 1. Nothing like it at the time. It was a game changer. Sadly, they need to reinvent it like they did for God of War. Ooh. Number 3, God of War. Talking of God of War.
Damn.
On the PS2, man, that was awesome, sexy game back in the day. Number 2, Uncharted 1. The only reason to own a PS3 at the time and my first platinum. And number 1, Uncharted 2. Amazing journey and unforgettable game.
Yeah.
So there you go.
One of my honorable mentions. Uncharted 2 is a great game.
It is a great game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There you go, lads. Look forward to hearing your top 5s. Although you were probably all going through puberty back in 2000. I don't think so.
No.
I was 24 years old. Hello.
And I was married. So anyway, but never mind. I know we look young when you meet us, Colin, but we're actually quite old. You know, just saying.
Except for me.
Except for you. You are quite young still, kind of. Next is from Duke's South Dakota neighbor.
Yeah.
For this week's Deep Thought segment on my top 5 games of the noughties are, number 1, Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. Number 2, Black and White. That's a good shout, that, Peter.
I never played Black and White.
I played it for like half an hour and I got bored with it.
Number 3, BioShock.
Yeah. I wouldn't rate it as...
Mention that at all?
No, it's I even put it... I didn't even put it down. I do like it. It's a good game. I
had it on my honorable mentions.
I would say BioShock deserves an honorable mention from my list because it's one of the smartest stories in a first-person shooter ever, and you can't say more without spoiling it. But it did something that I had never seen. I don't think had been done before that, in terms of like, now we're gonna deal with the fact that you've been doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really creative.
It's very clever.
Yeah, it was clever.
Very clever. Number 4.
Would you kindly keep going with this list?
I am going to keep going. Number 4, Super Monkey Ball.
I loved Super Monkey Ball. I think I'm the only... Oh, okay.
Right. And number 5,
Loved
The Sims. Number 5 of The Sims.
Yeah, I'm you know, I was a big fan of The Sims in 2000. Me and Dean Johnson loved The Sims. It was just one of those games that we just was, what the? We never played anything like this before. Did the cheat, got all the money, built a massive house, put people in the swimming pool, took away the ladder, watched them die. Great fun.
Brilliant. What more fun can you have, really,
I know.
with a game?
It's true.
Anyway, he continues. Also, I said a while back, while pestering Duke to play some Nautica and Chinny to play RimWorld, I didn't have any games to pester Stu with, as we are not into the same things. Well, no longer, Stuart. I have over 200 hours into the Long Dark and keep coming back for more. While I don't know that you would lose too much time to the sandbox survival mode, I do think you would really enjoy the story. They just redid the first 2 episodes and the third is about to drop. Quit thinking about this game and snatch it up. Thanks for the show, guys. Yeah, I'm definitely going to drop on that at some point. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. So thank you for the recommendation. Next one's from John Parkin.
Good old John.
Which I think is a new emailer in. I don't recognise.
Good old John.
Good old
mate, John. Johnny John.
John.
What, John?
You know what? You know what he's doing when he's driving?
What's he doing?
He's parking.
I get you, John Parkin.
I bet he's never heard that joke before.
I bet he hasn't.
Hey, John, if you think that was a bad...
He's going to the John.
Right, are you ready?
If I tell you what, if he thinks that last name, that joke was bad, try having Chin as a last name, John.
Hey,
try having that.
Does when he's hiring a prostitute.
Anyway, his eyes.
You know he's not allowed to play Monopoly. Because he always gets the parking for free.
Yeah, he's always parking for free. Oh. Anyway, he says,
and also he cheats.
Jesus Christ.
He cheats.
Just found you guys on Twitter and love the look of the site and what you do. Here's my list anyway. Number 1, GTA 4. Number 2.
Hey,
wow. Okay, just pause there. I didn't expect... There's 2 people that said GTA 4. I didn't think people liked GTA 4 that much. Okay, thank you, John.
There you go. Number 2, GTA San Andreas.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 3, Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Rainbow Six Vegas.
Oh God, how did I not even talk
How
about?
did you not have that on your
Wow.
list?
How did you miss that?
Oh God, I love those.
Eric.
You know what?
What is the matter with you?
Because I played that too a lot online. Oh man.
Oh man.
Thank you for writing in, new listener, because you saved me from having to wake up in the middle of the night and go,
Didn't realise. Number 5, Mafia.
The first one. The
yeah, the
first Mafia.
first one.
John
First.
Parkin. Mafia 1. Oh,
Maybe you
everybody,
meant Mafia 2 because that counts. doesn't
everybody
it?
knows Mafia 2 is better, John. But hey, it's your list. Even if you're wrong,
list.
John, we
Your
love you
list.
for emailing in.
You do. Cheers, John.
Thanks,
So,
John.
Cheers, John.
Legend.
You're a ledge.
Well, I don't know. He
Right.
he could not be a legend. I have no idea.
Now, Seth McNitt has these top 10, he says. But he's only done 5, so that's all good. Right, here we go. Hey, Jen, shouldn't this be 2000 to 2009 like the noughties?
Yeah.
Right, anyway, number 1, Red Dead Redemption. Woo.
Woo.
Number 2, Psychonauts. Everybody goes on about this. I've never played it.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know anything about it, really.
I was like, that's just an estimate. No, I never played it. Number 3, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Number 4,
Okay.
Fallout 3.
Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, Call of Duty 4. Okay, I wasn't listening. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Yep. Fallout 3. Yep.
Number 5, and I don't know why this isn't on my
This
list.
this was on my list. This was
It
on
should have
my
been
list.
on my list. It should have been on my list. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yep. The
What a
best,
game.
by far,
It
the
is.
best Assassin's Creed game.
And what
I
was
haven't played
the
Origins and Odyssey though, so
Yeah. The interesting thing about Brotherhood, though, was when it came out, it was originally just going to be like an expansion, wasn't it? Like a bit of DLC.
yeah.
And then they went, we can make another full game. And that's what they did. It was
This
amazing.
is a whole game.
Full game. And if I dropped off the 2010 games, I'd add Saints Row 2 and Mafia 2.
Mafia 2 is, oh my god, such a beautiful game. Oh
Yeah,
my god, I love that game.
It is. Honourable mention, Kane and Lynch, Dead Men. Cheers.
Seth,
I like it. Just-
Kane and Lynch.
Very
No, no, Seth, no.
It was going
game
so
is-
well.
The game is shit, Seth. Stop it.
Going so well up to that point. Next one's off Stu Leckie, and these top 5 games are, in no particular order, here are some games that, in my honest opinion, are great. Mafia 2.
Yeah.
Hey. Couldn't stop
Brilliant.
playing this game to the point where I completed it on 2 different platforms. Amazing game.
Yeah.
Totally with you there.
Mm.
Gears of War 2, greatest co-op
The
game.
second one, Stu Leck.
Second.
He's gone for the
Second.
second one there.
Gone for sec. He's gone for the 2s, baby.
2 was a good one. It was a good one.
It was good. Uncharted 2.
He just likes 2s, doesn't he?
Just likes the 2s, man. Best release of a fantastic series.
Yeah.
Excellent game. It is the best. It is.
It is the best. I haven't played 4 though. Does 4 stack up?
4 is great. 4 is great, but Uncharted 2 just, I don't know.
2's the one.
The AI was a bit crap, but the actual game's brilliant. The story's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Gran Turismo 5.
You've lost us.
A racing game that had some of the best multiplayer races.
You've lost me, mate. Sorry,
what he
Stu
says
Leck.
for that.
Sorry.
And the final one is Left 4 Dead. Still
Yeah.
the best fun playdate games of memories, which is totally true.
Yeah.
We had so many great nights playing that game.
That's a good one.
Thanks,
Stu Leck.
This is the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. You are all going to probably fawn over Portal 2 again. It's good, but it's not in my top 5. It didn't feature in any of our top 5.
It's because it was 2011, that's why.
Yeah, it's wrong year. Wrong year.
Get it together, man. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, Stu Leck,
Thanks,
thank
Stu
you
Leck.
very much for that, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, moving on. Chris Williams, top 5-ish.
Jeez.
Top 5-ish, he says. And these dudes, this is way too hard. It was really difficult.
It is, Chris. You're right.
Here's his top 5 then. Uncharted 2. Resident Evil 4. Good. Good. A lot of people bum that game, man. They love it.
They do love that game.
They love that game. Mass Effect 2.
It is the best Mass Effect.
It is.
I would
It
say.
is. Wipeout HD. And Duke, you're going to love him. Eco.
I can't believe I forgot that either. Ah.
Yeah. And Eco is his final game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my dog.
And his daughter Annie can't play games or write emails. Yet if she could, this is what she
look,
would
no,
choose.
he's just added another 5 that he wanted to add. You can't do
We
that,
shall.
Chris.
Well, we'll
No.
quickly do it.
Nice
Are we not
try,
doing it?
but
Yeah,
We're
go
not
on,
doing
do
it.
it. Do it fine.
Let's do it. We're only quick. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker,
Brilliant.
Prince of Persia, Sands of
Brilliant.
Time, Mario Galaxy 2,
Never played it.
Red Dead,
Best game ever.
Loco Roco,
Never
which I
played it.
love Loco Roco.
Loco
brilliant.
Roco.
Toodles, Chrissy,
Thanks,
and
Chris
Annie.
and Annie. Baby Annie.
Chrissy and Annie.
thanks for the cheat.
Okay, next one is from Peter Robson. And it says this. Well, then you've got self a gun, or what's left of one.
Okay. Have you got a gun, Stu?
No, I might have done this. There's obviously a quote from somewhere.
Okay.
Anyway, it says this. Pete here with my gaming top 5 of the
Hi,
previous
Pete.
decade. Number 5, Dead Space.
Yeah, no one mentioned Dead Space so far.
I
Pete.
love that game.
It is a great game. You're right. You're right.
Yes. Number 4, Half-Life 2. Do you know this went in and out of my top 5 for
I know.
quite a
I am
while.
shocked, Stuart, that
I know,
Half-Life 2
I know.
is not
It did go
in
in.
your
It
list.
did go in. Then it came
I
out.
really
Then
am.
it went in. Then it came out.
Oh,
and
that's
then
what
it-
she said.
In and out. In and out.
Oh,
and
that
then
sounds like an audio porn book. I don't want to hear that.
It does. In and out. Number 3, Ghostbusters.
You're on your own. I mean, that's decent. It's a decent game, Pete. But top 5 of the decade. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Yeah, maybe that's his deadly premonition.
Maybe.
I can't.
No,
believe
but
none of
Ghostbusters
us-
is a good game.
I can't believe none of us had this on our
I
list.
know. It's crazy.
Batman Arkham Asylum.
I wrote it down.
Jesus Christ. You forget, don't you? There's so many games. There's so many
2009,
games.
yeah.
And his number 1 is FIFA 2009 2008.
And it was nice to have you, Pete, but sorry, you've got to go. Bye.
And
We
he
are
says
a
this,
Pro Evo podcast. Get out of our face.
he did have, like, can I just say, he did have a little byline for each one. So Dead Space was uncomfortably enjoyable.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 was Welcome to City 17. Ghostbusters, if you like Ghostbusters and you haven't played it, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. It is a good game.
Arkham Asylum, true classic material, has aged better than most older games.
True, true, true.
And he wrote a freaking essay about FIFA. He put, it's the first game I taught my little boy to play, and now he's bigger than me, and I don't win anymore.
Yeah.
So much fun has been had in friends and family with this game franchise. I have to give it first place. No eye rolling, please. I love dumb space games too.
And this is what your child sounds like now.
Want Britain to be back British.
Cheers, guys. Another great addition to the show. So there you go. Thank you for that. The next one is from Jason Gallagher. And he says, it's top 5 lol. We have bigger fish to fry. Here we go. Halo 2. I had more fun playing this online with my brothers and friends than any other game ever. Once I had a cold and broke a date with my fiancée wife to set up a LAN party at home.
Wow.
Wow. That is dedication right there.
You go, Jason.
I remember carrying.
Wrong thing, just to be clear.
I remember carrying those big, heavy-ass televisions into the house.
Yeah.
Best gaming gets beers, me and my brothers, and a bunch of girls playing Capture the Flag before girls played games, lol. That was the best. Well, until Red Dead Redemption, Deadly Premonition.
No.
Woo-hoo, and Alan Wake. How could I not have Alan Wake on
Alan
my
Wake.
list?
Oh, my God.
Oh
I
my
think that's
God.
the reason why you started podcasting, Stu. You just wanted to talk about Alan Wake.
I think I loved Alan Wake. Condemned is also on my list. I did look at Condemned, so that did cross my
It's a
mind.
good
'cause I
game.
did- yeah,
I
it wasn't
put it on the
quite
list.
good enough. I think of more, but my memory is about as bad as Saggy Stews. Love Silent Hill, though. Mass Effect 2, Gears, Bioshock,
He's just
Brothers in
listed-
Arms. I know, he's just listening for
Jason.
It's not 5. Did you not understand the 5 thing? Fall 2, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, and
No,
Grow.
because we all had honorable mentions.
Yeah, I know. But this is our fucking show, Duke. Sorry, Jace.
Okay, actually, my memory is better than Saggy Stews. There you go.
Mm.
But what matters most today? What is the most relevant and entertaining story only available today, Sunday, the 27th of January? P-Town. It's the
Yes.
only. It's only on the Ped and Mella podcast feed for today. They are the only ones that can save us from the end of times. Trust me. Tomorrow the feed is gone forever, so grab it now. Not like Trump though, okay? Get in there and be a gentleman or a sweet lady. Then just hit the download button on the prologue and chapters 1 to 16 I never got a chance to edit it, so it is raw and uncut. It's just been sitting there for 2 years. Ped slapped some tunes on it, so he's the man for sure. What are you waiting for? Download it now. The world is over soon, and you'll be glad you did.
So just to be clear, P-Town is a spoof that Jason made based on the
Shit Town
podcast. S-Town.
S-Town, but it's Shit Town is what it stood for.
So, I haven't heard it yet.
I've started. I have downloaded all 16 episodes, so I have got them, and I've listened to about 15 minutes. It's interesting.
Yeah, interesting is what you say when you go on a date and it didn't go well, Stu.
It's interesting. Anyway, the next one's from Mark Singh. He says, decades top 5, evening veterans. Here's my top 5 in no particular order. Wii Sports.
Oh my God, Mark. Wii Sports, Mark.
Listen, wait, whoa. He's got a justification.
I don't care about his fucking justification.
Something so special that I think only Nintendo could have pulled this off. What a joy to have the whole family be so involved in playing games in the front living room, while normally they would have been turning their noses up if I ever tried to even tempt them to have a go
It
on
is
a console.
true, but also, why do you want to be with your family for, Mark?
What's all that about?
That's just so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
We play video games to be on our own, Mark.
Yeah.
And talk to people that we don't know online.
Isolate ourselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Weirdo, Mark.
Anyway, it says, next one, BioShock. I'm afraid I am one of those gamers that loves new shiny things and moves on so quickly before I've completed the game, but BioShock really held its grip on me, and I fell in love with this world, a wonderful, immersive game.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Can't dispute.
It's a good game.
Super Mario Galaxy, once again, Nintendo showed the rest of the competition how to innovate and move forward gaming in such a way that they will always have a place in my heart forever.
Dear Nintendo, do you want free money? Release Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2, Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. Any Wii U game you've got, just release it on the Switch.
Original Wii game.
I will give you my money. Nintendo, are you listening? I will give you money if you do this. Hopefully they'll get to them.
They don't care, man, because they've even said,
fuck, do they?
We don't need to drop the price of the Switch because they're selling like shit.
Reggie Fudamarsray, or whatever his name is there's a button on his desk that ports all those games over to the Switch, and he's just rubbing it with his finger. He's not touching it. He's just like, fuck them. Another day.
Who cares? Right, okay. Next one is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I was never into first-person shooters, and I took a chance on this probably 6 months after its initial release. The campaign was... Shut up! Duke's got to go in 20 minutes. Be quiet.
Oh, yeah. Well, why is it so late?
I know. The campaign was absolutely fantastic. The story mode has never been beaten by any other COD game in the series, in my eyes. Then I tried the multiplayer, and on my days, what a surprise. This, I was not expecting to have such a hold on me and my friends. It was one of those rare games that you went to bed sleeping and thinking about it, at working day, dreaming about it, talking to friends while at work, checking what time they will be online.
I played Call of Duty 4 so much that I had a job where I could come back home between runs, and I would come home and play Call of Duty 4.
That's ridiculous. Next one and final one for him is Resident Evil 4. Felt this was the ultimate game in the series, a game changer that some would say has never been beaten by the series, although I'm hearing that the re-release of Resident Evil 2 has gone down a storm, but for now it's not appealing to me just yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm streaming next Thursday, by the way, for the listeners.
Oh yeah, I've already got it. I played it, but didn't get to talk about it because we had to move on.
Thursday, 7 p.m, I will be playing Resident Evil 2 live on YouTube and Twitch, so join me there if you want to, fucking watch me get scared, I guess. Right, we got to run through these things, Stu.
Yeah, we've got more.
Here we go. Let's go. Let's pick up the pace. Here we go.
Okay. So anyway, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate the email. Thank you.
Next from Derek.
Derek,
says,
love Derek.
The tooth and nothing but the tooth. Hello, veteran gamers.
Hi,
this
Derek.
has nothing to do with top 5 games. Shall we save this for next week?
Yes, I love Derek. I
Sorry,
appreciate
Derek,
it.
We
Yeah,
love
but
you to
we've
bits,
got
man,
it.
and we
We're
know
just running long.
But we need to get through these top 5s.
I've put a
top 5s, man, this week.
Put a flag on your email, Derek. We won't
Yeah,
miss it
have
next
a
week.
week off. Have a week off next week. We'll just do what you did.
Love you, Derek.
Okay, this is from Amar, and he says top 5 of the naughties. What up, homies?
What up?
Top 5 naughties, eh? Yeah, that's going to be easy to put together. That decade covers GameCube, PS2, original Xbox, PSP, PS3, 360, Wii, and the Nintendo DS.
Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, here
Okay,
goes.
so here goes. Top 5, and not in any particular order. Number 1, Halo 2 on the original Xbox. Absolutely kickstarted the entire online console shoot-'em-up genre. Was a revelation when it came out.
That is true. I agree, Armor.
Number 2, Project Gotham Racing 2. I'm a Bizarre Creations fanboy, and PGR2 introduced online multiplayer with great graphics and locations. I remember Monday, 6 p.m, and piling on the weekly online meetups with work colleagues. Those were the days. We were all married or single with no kids and could game after work. Number 3, Mass Effect 2. Love BioWare, and ME2 took what was wrong with ME1 and just boosted it to the whole next level. I completed this game twice. Once with Paragon, Goody, Male Shepherd, and once with Renegade Baddie, Femshep. All achievements, all DLC. This series topped Star Wars and Star Trek for me. Love the lore and the history, and the fucking EA look like they're going to close down BioWare as Anthem Beta has been a bit meh.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Is that true?
Yeah, they've had a shit ton of trouble with the beta, but I don't think it's as bad as all that. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They've been getting a lot of criticism. Number 4, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Caused
brilliant.
a bit of a meltdown with Zelda aficionados with the cel-shaded graphics, but I loved it.
Same.
I double dipped on this one with the Wii U and will happily triple dip with the Switch.
Free money, Nintendo.
I know. Nintendo could sell me a piece of freshly coiled poo in the shape of a Triforce, call it a limited edition, and I'd buy
True.
it.
It's just money sitting there. Like, I would pay for those games. I don't. Oh my god.
It is. Number 5, Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
I managed to rustle up 12 people for Thursday night online sessions. In fact, I can tell you exactly what I was doing and where I was when the news broke that Michael Jackson had died in an online battle for number 1 spot on Coconut Mall. Shamon.
Yeah, Shamon.
That's brilliant. Honourable mentions. He's got some honourable mentions.
Here we
He's done a Chris.
Everybody did this.
Red Dead 1, sorry, Mike. But ME2
Fine.
just edges it out as the best 360 game. Gears of War 1, oh my god, the graphics were out of this world. Advanced Wars Dual Strike on the DS. I have no idea what
I
that was.
played that, yeah.
I love me some turn-based strategy games. Halo 3 4-player online co-op was the first ever, I think.
Oh my god, how did I forget Dragon Age Origins? I'm a terrible person.
You're a terrible person.
Too
Number
late.
10. At least you're not woken up in the middle of the night. And number 10, GTA Vice City. Don't need to say anything, do I?
That's the other GTA game I never finished.
Anyway, it says, guys, screw your top 5 games of the 2000s. You were my top 10 games of the 2000s.
Yeah.
We saw what you did there. I hope you're all well. I myself been recently playing Fire Emblem Awakening on 3DS, trying to complete this. And if you have any, if you have a 3DS, please pick this up. This is an absolute gem of a game. Ciao, Amar.
Thank you, Armor. Legend.
Okay, we've got right. Okay, let me have a look. Right. Okay. Right, we've got 2 more emails. One's from Lewis and one's from a new emailer I've never heard of called Kev Westerman.
All right.
But the
Kev, he's following us on Instagram. And he, I think, yeah. So Twitch Funk is following us on Instagram. So I know Kevin through Insta. Thank you, Kev.
So Kev, right, I'm gonna save these till next week.
Okay.
Because both of these aren't to do with top 5 games.
That's
and
fair
we
enough.
are running short of time.
I'm sure
we've
they
got
understand.
Thanks for writing in.
Emails that we'll read out
Okay.
next week, and we
If
probably
I didn't have to go, we might do it, but I got to go soon. So
Yeah,
gotta go, and we're running very long. And that's it for the emails. Do you want to do the Twitter stuff, Chinny?
Yes, I will do the Twitter stuff. There's not
very
tons,
quickly.
and there's also some Instagram stuff, but I will do them very quickly. Okay, Bomber Harris on Twitter says Team Fortress 2, Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Postal 2, and Bad Boys 2. Get it? 2 for 2,000. Unfortunately, that list isn't accurate, Bomber. So you failed the test, and you've got to take it again. Sorry, Bomber. Right. Killer Cranky. I think Killer Cranky emailed in. Oh, Blue Borrow.
That could be one of the emails we've read, I'm guessing. I did read all of the ones that I've got.
track. We don't know.
It's hard to keep track. Colm emailed in. Yep. Seth emailed in. Oh
People,
my
don't
god.
be tweeting at us and emailing.
No,
Hey,
that's fine. I asked him to. It's
no,
fine.
it's not fine.
Duke is very angry.
Yeah, what do you want me to play the jingle?
Yeah, I think.
There you
I
go.
think.
Is that it? Are we done? Right. Well.
Right. Whoa. We got one on
We
Instagram.
have got one more email.
We got one on Instagram. Insta.
I have to
Insta.
change before we leave, so like.
Okay.
Time,
right.
yes.
All right. Okay. This guy didn't understand the thing. Because he said, but it's interesting nonetheless. The Last of Us, The Witcher 3, Inside, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Red Dead Redemption 2, Java DHG13. Thank you so much for responding.
I think they're just his favourite games.
It's just his favourite games. I mean, yeah, they're good games on that
There
list.
is one more email that I haven't got.
Hurry up, read it.
Read it.
I haven't got it. Someone else has got it, haven't you, Shinny?
Oh yes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
On Instagram as well, Dave O'Mac said GTA Vice City, Medal of Honor Frontline. No one's mentioned Medal of Honor so far. Red Dead 1, Resident Evil 4. Thank you, Dave. Sparky1101. Shout out to Sparky. I messaged him on Instagram. He said League of Legends. Oh my God, no one mentioned that. Modern Warfare 2, God of War 2, NHL 10, and Warcraft. Very different games to what we like, but thank you nonetheless. Jimmy, he likes to be called. Ian W says Gears of War, Modern Warfare 2, Left 4 Dead 1 or 2, any of them. Shadow Complex or Resident Evil 4. Thank you, Ian W. So that's the Instas, and then there's one more email from Millie, all the way from Preston.
Brilliant.
So Millie said...
She wouldn't let me know what was on the list. I've no idea.
Good old Millie. She said, number 5 is Lego Harry Potter. Can practically still hear the noise that game made when you pick up Lego pieces. Portal is her number 4. Must admit, not as good as Portal 2, but that didn't qualify as it came out in 2011. Mario Kart Nintendo DS. It's technically just Mario Kart DS, but I'll let you off, Millie. Won every race and left everyone for dust. Number 2, Burnout Paradise. Wow, spent so many hours driving around, going at speed limits and stopping when the traffic lights went red. Wow, she really is your daughter. Never actually did any of the races, but still had lots of fun. And her number one game is Super Mario Brothers for the DS. First game she ever finished, and it's a timeless game and a classic. Thank you, Millie Fowler.
Is that what she put? I didn't even know she put that. Oh,
that's what she put. So thank you so much to everybody that emailed in.
All right, I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta stop. I have to go.
Just
now.
Just go.
Go.
I'll take.
We'll
the
finish
audio.
the show.
Leave it recording, man.
No, I'm not gonna leave it recording. I'm done.
What?
He's got to end it,
I'm
hasn't
not
he?
gonna leave my computer.
You can't leave it computer on.
I'm not. I'm hitting stop.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Now
I'll
take the audio from the end of the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And
You'll be fine. You'll be
All
fine.
right. Okay. No, that's fine.
Okay. Bye, guys. Sorry.
Bye, Duke.
Bye. Thanks, Duke.
All right.
He's gone.
He's gone.
It's gone.
So thank you so much to
slow down a bit.
So thank you so much to everybody that emailed in, Instagrammed in. That's what the kids are doing. And tweeted us with their top. We're getting a lot of responses lately. And like I said, we've been doing a lot of responses, a lot of stuff on the YouTubes, on the Instas. So follow us on whatever platform you like, and on Facebook as well. Everything I post on Instagram goes up on Facebook. I just don't check it as often. So if you do comment on there, I'm sorry if I don't reply very quickly. But hey, Stu, that was a good topic.
It was. Can I just say as well what was really funny? She was writing that email while she was sat next to me.
Yeah.
And she was doing what we've done tonight. She was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, could be that. Oh, I might put that. Oh, I don't know. And I'm like, I'd forgotten she'd played so many games when she was little.
She's a little gamer. Millie. She's a little gamer.
Yeah. Well, I said to her, you need to maybe try again and play some stuff, you know what I mean? To actually try some proper games. And she was like,
she's at that age where she's like, I don't know, there's more important things going on.
There is.
But I tell you what, that was a big, fat, juicy topic that we had there, Stu. It was a good, juicy topic. But for next week, we're not going to have a juicy topic. But this is what the topic is for the listeners, right?
Oh.
I want them to give us a topic. And I want
Give us a topic.
I want a bank of topics. I need a bank of topics so we can talk about them on this show because we need to talk about stuff. What the fuck are we going to talk about? Video games? Our lives?
Yeah.
Our personal
News?
lives? What the fuck
Who
is
gives a
that?
shit?
News? No one cares about that. So if you're listening to this, email in, Insta, tweet, give us some big fat topics. I'll make a list in our Google Doc and then we'll talk about whatever you want. We'll shout you out. You'll get a mention on the show. You'll be internet famous. So give us some big fat gaming topics. They have to be gaming related.
There you go. There you go. Right, we need to do some shout-outs and get the hell out of here,
Let's
don't
do
we?
that.
Let's do that. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to shout out Jason, who has obviously spent hours recording P-Town, regardless of how this thing turns out when you listen to it. But by God, he's put the effort in. You know what I mean? So I've got to give him huge props. I've got proper shout-outs this week, by the way.
Oh,
I'm going to shout out the Overseas Connection because they've dropped episode 3 of Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm looking forward to it because I really enjoyed the second episode.
I haven't listened to the third episode, but the first and second are very good content.
Yeah,
Phil's
very
doing a
good.
great job over there. Well done to the
I
Overseas
loved it.
Connection.
Love it. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And my third shout, I've got 3. My third shout out is to Armar,
Yes.
who obviously after listening to last week's show is going to send me the links to Super Bomberman 1 and 2 to add to my games on my little console.
Super Bomberman 2 is probably one of the best Bomberman games ever.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So there are my 3
There you shout
massive shout outs this week. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, so shout out to Sparky1101. His name is James Morgan. Maybe he's related to Arthur Morgan. We never know, but he likes to be called Jimmy. So not my nephew Jimmy, but Jimmy the Spark is what I'm going to call him. And he followed us on Instagram, and he said some nice things about you, Stu. So I'm going to read them out.
Oh, thank you.
He said,
there we go.
I wanted to write an email one time and say that I think that Stu gets ragged on a lot and called geezer balls. I don't think
I don't ever remember that.
I don't think I've ever called you geezer balls, Stu.
I like it though. I like it.
But I just wanted to tell Stu that he's my favourite. And I love it when he says, "There you have it."
Brilliant. Who knew?
He said, "You're pretty cool, Chinny," and he also loves Duke's sound effects. But thank God Duke's not here. Thank you, Jimmy. A shout out to him.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'm touched.
It's
I'm
very rare that
genuinely
people say
touched.
nice things about you, so that's nice.
It is.
Usually everybody fucking hates you.
I
Also,
even got grief tonight, to be fair.
It is true. Shout out to Robin Tate, aka Bongo the Same from the Overseas Connection, who celebrated being 50 this week.
Is he 50? Jesus Christ, the old
50
bastard.
years
By the way,
old.
you did put in the chat Aliens Colonial Marines for the win.
For the win, yeah, I know, I saw. I just to acknowledge the chat. Jason is in in the chat, so the creator of P-Town, if you will. But yeah, Bongo said Alien Colonial Marines is famously one of his favourite games. Yeah, so thank you everybody who's in the chat tonight. But yeah, Bongo, you're 50, and I'm going to say this very genuinely now, Bongo. You might be 50, but you're younger than most people that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in terms of like spirit, mindset, enthusiasm.
What about me, man? I'm not old.
I didn't say you were.
No, but I'm only 3 years difference, aren't I, than Bongo?
No, but I think you're also a very young-spirited person.
Oh, thanks, Chidi.
But I don't want to be nice to you because you're a twat.
I
So,
know. Yeah.
you know, so I'm
Fair
just
enough.
being nice to Bongo right now. So yeah, shout out to Bongo. 50 years
There
old.
you go. And I'll double that because Bongo,
He's a
I
legend.
love you, man.
He's a legend.
I love you.
Legend.
He is a ledge. He is a ledge.
Alrighty.
There you go. I think that's it.
I think
We're
so.
done?
Yeah.
Right, well, I don't know, theme music, Duke, whatever, and then we're done.
We're done. Thanks everybody for listening. We don't.
Yeah,
have an
thank
outro.
you, and thanks for all of the emails we got this
We
week.
need topics.
And,
We need topics.
yeah, apologies again for the 2 or 3 I didn't read out, but I'll save them for next
We'll
week
save
because they weren't for the topic, man.
Yep.
They weren't for the topic.
Defo.
Thank you.
All right. Bye everyone.
Yeah, it feels weird without the theme, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
right,
Sweet.
that's it.
Right,
We're
that's the end of
done.
the show. Yeah.
Yeah, good show this week. Good show.
Yeah.
Big. It's a big one.
Is it? That's almost as big as the fucking Christmas show. Wow.
It is, but what are you gonna do? It's so difficult because there's so much to get through when you do stuff like that, isn't there?
I know.
But It's fine. It's fine, though. It's fine. Someone will complain and go,
Jason
it's
says,
so long.
I forgot you guys are so popular now. Time to finally tighten up those emails. Time to limit us to 30 characters. I'm just going to send GIFs. I can't really read out GIFs, Jason.
We can interpret them, can't we?
Saggy Duke losing his memory like Stu. Happy birthday, sung for Duke. Chino, you pregnant yet? No. That's hilarious, Stu. I was sick with bronchitis when I recorded it too. So, yeah. I've downloaded them. I haven't listened to them yet, Jason. So I will listen to them. Yeah.
Very good.
Cool.
Good,
All right, I'm
I
going to
enjoyed
stop the
that,
stream
man.
now. So thanks everybody who's
stop the
watching
stream,
live.
and then I can just have a quick chat with you about the end of Red Dead because I want to just put something past you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.